going on, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast episode 205. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here, and we have a lot of upcoming things to talk about with Summer Game Fest, Xbox Game Show, PlayStation State of Play. It's going to be a good one today. So, we've got our usual crew here, these beautiful, beautiful gentlemen. Mr. Dan Rodriguez, who I learned yesterday is the proud owner of a Honda Pilot.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I have nothing to hide. I have no shame. I mean, yeah,
you don't need to.
But no, I don't need to run around with a giant truck lifted 15 feet in the air with giant smokestacks. I know what I'm packing. It's a Pilot. That's what it is.
No, what an opening.
Yeah, started with that. Speaking of openings, you know him well. He has had a fun week this week, although he's become radicalized from what I understand and is influencing the children all across the nation. Mr. Hogue himself. Morning, sir.
What do you expect from a YouTube pundit? Radicalized influence. Hey, I'm doing okay, Ains. Yeah, we finally finished that trial I've been talking about for a couple of weeks, so that's all done. But not the coverage of it. So I've been having fun with that. And I had a guest on one of my Hangouts and Headlines episodes this week, didn't I?
You did. Yeah, I woke up way too early to hang out. And actually, I did learn some things. I told you that, actually. So it was an informative show for me, as I apologize for misdirecting a whole bunch of your viewers to the video game conversation. It was still a lot of fun.
I think we had a lot of fun with that, actually. You get your Washington Post question. You get your how do you feel about Yakuza games question.
It was a strange mix, but fun.
It was great. It was great. Yeah. I actually have people reach out to me in both directions, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, Bitcast Sundays at 11 a.m. My favorite place to be.
By the way, for everyone watching who knows us well and knows our Mass Effect discussion, Hogue and I got the funniest super chat over on his Hangouts and Headlines, which was, and I quote, "What are some of your favorite games of all time? Mine is Mass Effect 2." And Hogue and I had to respond to that, which was great. Yeah,
great. You can go check that out. That's from June 2nd stream, the one that's 6 hours and 15 minutes. But I do have chapters.
And of course, the man, the myth, the pastor. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
McClunky. I'm doing quite well. Good morning, everyone.
Going with the full suit again today.
Yeah, Travis always does it up style, as the kids from the late 1990s would say.
He's like, who?
I'm sure they would. Know very well the kids from 1990s, as I was one, a 10-year-old boy.
Oh, Travis.
Yeah, he's cute, isn't he?
Your light seasoning is so adorable.
Oh, man. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone in chat. First time tuning in and see a bunch of comments already. I know a bunch of people coming over from Hogue's channel, so appreciate you. Hope you're in the mood for some good gaming chat this morning. So, yeah, we're going to talk about everything from State of Play, like I said, and then this is actually going to be our last show before we do a post show of Summer Game Fest and Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. So let me clear this up for everyone right now at the beginning, because there's been some confusion on the channel that I've seen even in some of our comments. So we announced a few weeks ago that this group, the Bitcast group, was going to do a live reaction to the Xbox Showcase. We tried to do that. It's just not working out. We've got some conflicts all over the place, so it's not working out. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to do a special Monday show at 1 p.m. Eastern. So the Monday after at 1 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live to talk about Summer Game Fest, Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, and of course, all the little indie shows in between there as well, like the Guerrilla Games Collective. So I hope you can still join us. I realize that being in the midday on a Monday is going to be a little strange, but hopefully if you're working, us babbling about...
Bosses across the country are totally fine with that. Actually, if you look at Whitelist, Seasoned Gaming Bitcast is allowed for productivity, analytics, critical thinking, and more. So come join us, 1 p.m. June 13th, and build your team up at your workplace with us on that Monday afternoon. Your boss will appreciate it.
Always the better salesman. See, I couldn't have said it better. We'll leave it there. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, if you are one of our regulars who watch everything on this channel, the cast co-op crew, so me, Mr. Badbit, and Sip It Ghost, Joe and Luke are actually going to do the Xbox show live from a cast co-op perspective. So that's
Nice.
going to be something separate we'll talk about. But Bitcast crew, Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope you can join us. It should be a lot of fun as always. All right. We got a couple super chats right out of the gate. Let's go ahead and hit these up.
We like to make sure Dan's awake.
Yeah, gotta get him going right out of the gate.
Oof. All right, Fat Boy Horror. Hogue Law, will you be picking apart game headlines soon? Like you did was it WAPO?
Washington
Amazing
Post.
work.
Washington Post.
Oh yeah, I don't know any of these crazy.
Yeah,
amazing work, by the way.
Eventually, Dep V Heard headlines will be done. Eventually, I thought it would be this week. It is not. But yeah, I'm planning on doing some themed days around Hangouts and headlines. So something along the lines of a Tech Tuesday, Tech Thursday, to talk about gaming side of things with some other themes on every other day. So we got plans for Hangouts and headlines.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it. Hope to join you more often. It's a lot of fun over there. All right. Mr. Tao in the house.
Yeah, with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Tao. Morning Bitcasters. Hope. Keep it up. Keep up the truth will set. I'm sorry. Gosh, I really got to wake up. Oh, keep it up. The truth will set people free. Travis McClunky. Ains, we are family. Dan, where's my pernil? I would like some, sir. Yeah, that's. I don't have pernil, but I've still got some pork left over. That's basically a Puerto Rican dish. I grew up on. I posted some stuff on there. It's basically like a giant piece of like shoulder, but with the skin on it. Cook it in there. You crisp it up. It's delicious. Oof. It's amazing. Now I'm probably going to make that next. So I need to head to my...
As our resident Puerto Rican, by the way.
Puerto Rican, yes.
Puerto Rican.
Polish, Puerto Rican.
All right.
Right next door to each other in Chicago. Can't make that stuff up. I'm not sure there's many, besides for me and my brothers.
Thing I've heard of.
That's what we do here.
That's awesome. Thank you, Tal. Thank you, Fat Boy R. Appreciate the super chats getting us started. And all right, boys. So we've got our shows kind of there. I want to touch on a couple of comments we got in this last week. So we got a comment from Walnould, I believe, who said, great show. And he talked a little bit about PSVR based on our conversation last week. He left us a long comment. Basically what he was saying is that he's actually played games like Half-Life Alyx and other high-end VR experiences used on the Quest 2 through virtual desktop or AirLink, and it works flawlessly as long as you obviously have a very high-end PC. But he agreed with Hogue that the cable on PSVR makes him sad, knowing that, the majority of users right now, especially on Steam, are using a Quest 2, so they've gotten used to the whole wireless, VR perspective, and the PSVR 2 having a wire is it's not a good look, especially going into the future.
It just makes me sad. I understand, but it makes me sad.
So thank you, Walnoud, for the comment. And then Jibs the Squib, always a good follower of ours, always leaving nice comments. He said, you guys breaking down financial data is more entertaining and more informative than I could have ever hoped for from a gaming podcast. Really great stuff. There's just no other gaming podcast out there like y'all. I can't say y'all well. I can't do it, but like
y'all?
Us. Y'all.
He's not folksy enough.
No, I'm not. I can't do it. So, but I appreciate the sentiment, Jibs. I know we all do. So thank you for the nice comment, brother.
Financial statements are awesome.
Yeah, you should see that the video I ended up doing on the big three I told you about. That is for our patrons right now. It's 34 minutes long of just going through their fiscal results.
Do you hit a lot of footnotes, Ains?
Quite a few.
Footnotes
Not nearly as many as they give, of course, but a few. All right, so guys, before we get to the game shows that are coming up, what you been playing, man? Anything good? I know, as always, we joke Travis is usually under an NDA of some sort. Yeah. Anything you can talk about right now?
Permanent NDA on Travis.
I can say I'm playing Super Mario Strikers.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, they're having a demo weekend, aren't they?
I'm under one of those hilarious Nintendo embargoes. I don't know if you guys know what I'm referencing by saying that, but for those who don't know, Nintendo has the most hilarious embargoes where, when you sign an NDA with them, they'll have like really specific stuff. They'll be like, you can't show this piece of armor. You can't show this character on a Tuesday. You can't show like the 30 seconds. There was like a game a while back where IGN got dinged because Nintendo decided you can't show Bowser just at all. And Bowser showed up in the game in like the first 30 seconds of the cutscene, and we showed like the first 5 minutes. And like,
I thought you were going to tell me it was Bowser's Fury.
You can't show Bowser. And I was like, what? Why? And
no,
and then they're
keeping Bowser a secret. That's the problem.
nobody knows about Bowser yet. He's totally
Brand new character.
Yeah, brand new character. I think the game was the one where you play as Bowser too. It was like that game. I was like, wait, what? Anyway, they do this thing after once you sign the agreement and you agree to the embargo, they make you schedule a meeting with somebody at Nintendo, and you have to have like a 30-minute phone call to verbally go over the embargo and talk about all the different line items and stuff. And you have to do this for every Nintendo game, regardless of how many times you've done it. So like, I'll get on the phone and be like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, again, let's talk about this embargo that I apparently just couldn't have read it myself. So they're serious about their embargo. So anyway, I can't say much except for that I'm playing the game.
Wow.
Which I think is having a demo weekend right now.
There you go.
If you're interested.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah,
3rd to 5th. You know how they like to do their check the servers.
Yeah.
So I think it's 3rd to 5th.
Fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, I'm playing that game. I'm also. What else have I been playing since I'm gone? What else has come out? There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's nothing major, but I mean, there's been some things here.
Have games come out?
I'm blanking on games I'm playing, but
you know what? I started again this week, which I got to be careful because I can. No, I've done that 5 times already.
Okay.
I started Cyberpunk fresh.
That's also been on my rotation. I'm getting through Cyberpunk, which
I love.
I
love it. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I loved it at release, even despite the problems. But such a better experience now with all the updates.
It is at that.
The Series X upgrade, and it's super smooth. It's very pretty in a lot of areas, and I started a new character, new intro scene, and all that, and I'm loving it, man.
Sniper Elite 5, thank you. Someone in the comments reminded me. That's
Benjamin Too Good. That Sniper Elite 5 this week was a damn blast. So a lot of people playing that right now.
The game's awesome. I'm working my way through it a level at a time. Also Destiny 2 because there's a new season of that going on. So lots of stuff.
So give me 2 minutes perspective on that, because I saw like even Destin posted, I think, something saying that like it's gotten the Season of the Haunted, is it?
Season of the Haunted. That's right.
Okay. It seems like some people are saying that they've kind of gone through that too quickly. It's becoming kind of repetitious already. I don't know what that means because I don't play Destiny.
Yeah, so I talk about this a ton on The Last Word, but
sure.
Season of the Haunted for me is a very aptly named season because Destiny is quite haunted by lots of things, including it's one of the buggier expansions. So I say it's haunted by its own engine that they're having trouble managing, at least remotely. I don't know what the issue is with that, which is unusual for Destiny, by the way. That's like one of the areas we've never really had to worry about is like really weird glitches. But this has like a lack of polish in it. It's also like they brought back an old location that they took out of the game, and they basically reskinned it and gave it back to players, and added an event that's kind of a repeat of another event. And so I'm just like, this whole model is haunted. It's just a weird. I'm not very hot on this season of Destiny. I've basically been playing. It's like a Tuesday game. I play it on Tuesday when there's like new stuff to do, and then I get out of there just because there's not a whole lot. But I'm not really a fan of the season at all. So
gotcha.
Well,
there you go. Let me get we got a couple more super chats.
I'll be honest. I'll tell you when the Witch Queen's good, and I'll tell you when Season of the Haunted is skippable.
I still need to play Witch Queen for at least the campaign.
It's so good.
That's the value of a reviewer. If you're not honest, I don't know what value you would have.
Right. Very true. Very true. Let's get these super chats. Fat boy back already.
Your job. I respect your humanity.
He's back again. Ain't saying y'all sounds like Jackie Chan in Rush Hour. That is true.
Y'all.
It is true. Y'all.
What's the Kansas equivalent of y'all? What do you guys say there?
It's basically y'all.
It's y'all.
Yeah, well, it depends where you are in Kansas, though. Again,
well, if you're anywhere but where we are, that's what it is.
Okay, what do you guys call it in your specific pocket of Kansas?
I mean, we don't use it.
You don't have a replacement for
They're
y'all?
Never around plurals of people.
Yeah,
each individually with full time. Mr.
I live in San Francisco. Our equivalent of y'all is the proletariat. So, what do you guys call?
What?
That was a liberal San Francisco joke.
It was.
You all. I mean, you say both words here.
Just say you all. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Or everyone.
We got all kinds of time. Yeah,
That's
there's no need to rush it.
lunacy, but I accept it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on here, so we have the time. Thank you, Fat Boy, again. Let me get Gecko Gamer back in the house.
Nice. Thank you, Gecko, with the €5. Any thoughts on the new Pokemon? This is the first time I pre-ordered a game since Watch Dogs 1, and I hope it doesn't end in a launch disaster, much like Watch Dogs.
Hey, I liked Watch Dogs 1. I'm one of the defenders
Really?
of Watch Dogs 1. I did.
Wow.
Well,
It was rough. At launch, it was rough.
Yikes.
Well, it had some bugs and issues, yeah, but I mean, as a game, I liked it. But
I
the
find
story was
I
also
like
bad.
Watch Dogs 1 and don't like Ghost of Tsushima an interesting
no.
combination.
I said Ghost of Tsushima it's a very good game. I just don't think it's like game of the year, top tier PlayStation Studio material.
Okay.
And I think both are pretty meh, so I'm consistent at least.
I was gonna say I think Travis is lower on Ghost than I am.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Tsushima was my game of the year that year, so
Yikes.
I'll fight that. Well, you continue expounding the virtues of a game nobody can afford to play, so I can't check you on that.
Still a good game. You have to, yeah.
That's true. Thoughts on the new Pokemon? So if I recall correctly, this is Scarlet and
Violet.
Violet. Thank you. I am not the Pokemon guy, so if you guys have any thoughts here, please expound.
Well, you know, Scarlet, Violet, colored enemies, of course. Such a weird name for a set of Pokemon games.
Maybe it'll have something to do with the story, Hope.
Oh, Team Scarlet. It looks good. It looks like they're taking Arceus and moving it over into modern Pokemon. So should be good. Arceus is awesome. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. But they haven't given us any other information.
Yeah.
I like the duck. I'm going to be the duck. So
I'm going to be the duck.
I'm going to be the
Put
duck.
that on a bumper sticker.
Well, the Depp Be Heard captions always got their names wrong, and one of them was when they referred to Johnny Depp, it was Mr. Duck, and so that just stuck with me. That just stuck with me, and I'll be a duck.
You're gonna duck, and you're gonna nickname him Depp.
Or Mr. Duck, yeah,
or Mr. Duck, yeah.
Awesome. We kind of expect a Nintendo Direct sometime this summer, right? So I have to imagine we're going to hear a lot more about these games soon, Gecko. So yeah, I will probably have a deeper conversation on those when we see more. But thank you for the super.
Hey, the Pokemon games are usually good.
Yeah,
usually good. Also a little stagnant for my taste, but
that's why Arceus was so cool.
Yeah, that's why it seems like they're trying to finally push it a little broader, right, from what they usually.
Yeah, and then you take Arceus as your test bed, and if it didn't work out, it's off in the the distant past and everything else. And then they found that it did work, and now they're going to apply it to their mainline series. That's what I think is happening based on the trailers. So I think that should work.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Gecko, as always, man. Gio Rio back in the house as well.
Hey, Gio.
Going crazy here. Cats Co-op was fun. Red eyes and stuffed bodies. I'm gonna have to have you explain that to me.
We had a wild show the other day.
What y'all doing over there?
I know this is crazy. Yeah. Did you try the PlayStation 5 Horizon FPS update? Big difference. I was able to order the Xbox. I'm assuming that's Series X. I've always played PlayStation, never played Xbox. Which game first? Thanks. First of all, State of Decay 2. That's one you want to play first. After that, everything is great.
I would just say Game Pass and go pick something that looks good to you.
Yeah. Interesting that you would choose a game that you could easily play on a different, non-Xbox Series X.
I mean, he says he's never had the Xbox on it, or he has.
Oh, I see.
An Xbox.
So you're going for just all Xbox.
Never been on the Xbox. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Download the Master Chief Collection, I guess.
Hoog's right. Start with Game Pass because that's going to get you all first party and everything else.
I would say it should come with a 3-month free subscription or something.
Yeah,
I would assume.
I was saying whoa to start with State of Decay 2 because as much as it's a good game and it's improved substantially since launch, I don't know if you say to someone, this is the first time on Xbox, the first game you want to play is State of Decay 2.
That's the first. I mean, then your expectations are super low after that. Then everything else is just going up. Then you can play a racing game. Forza is great.
Forza Horizon 5.
Gears 5 is super fun.
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
If you like cars, Forza Horizon 5. To Travis's point, Master Chief Collection is amazing. Obviously, Halo Infinite's really good. All their modern kind of new ones are really fun. So yeah, let us know how that goes. That's awesome. Thanks for checking out Cast Co-op as well. And I've heard really good things. Hogue, I saw you said you played it. I haven't, but I've heard really good things about this update to Horizon with the performance.
It's solid. It's not.
super
I mean,
good.
it's an FPS update, kind of. If you want to characterize it like that, it's actually a visuals upgrade to the 60 frame per second version.
Right.
So that always existed. You could always play Horizon at 60 frames. It just looked like you were watching it through Vaseline covered lenses, and it looks better now.
Yeah, it does.
Now I've thought Forbidden West actually has a pretty good blending solution for its 30 frames, but if you absolutely can't stand it, 60 is now a big jump up.
I tried the 30 frame mode on it. I lasted like 10 seconds.
There are some folks that have that reaction. I think that their solution is pretty good as compared to other 30 frame games, but
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't believe you guys.
You don't believe
I don't believe people who say they can't stand 30 frames.
Dude,
No, I can't do it.
There are people who are very sensitive to it. To me, you'll always get used to it. You'll always get used to it, but they're people's brains. Sometimes they're slower, Travis, and they can't actually get up to speed on 30 frames per second as fast as you and I can. Yeah.
It feels like it's stuttering. You know what I mean? Like
Kansas.
Cyberpunk is like this, like because I just started a new game, like I said, and I tried the 4K ray tracing mode, right, which is 30, and as you turn the camera, it hiccups.
Yeah, there's literally no reason to play the 30 frames per second Cyberpunk. I don't think on the Xbox.
No, but like I said before, so you have to remember, like daily I play Halo, which is my go-to game, right?
Sure.
And for 6 months now, I've played that 120 FPS VRR. So trying to go back
to
though. Well, I know, but it's so
just in terms
smooth.
of what your eyes are used to. I hear what Amy was saying, but I mean, you really do have kind of people that it's always going to take a moment when you go to 30. It's always going to look god awful if you're coming right off of 60 or 120, but the length of time it takes for you to catch up to that just differs by person.
That's true.
Because Horizon's 30 solution is very good, but if you're not used to even looking at 30 at all, it's going to feel awful for at least a time.
Yeah, fair enough. By the way, Beast Mode recommended Ori, which are two amazing games as well. Again, Game Pass. So
Witcher 2. Interesting.
Assassin of Kings.
Witcher 2.
Yeah, it's a really good game, dude. I played that game so much.
And on console, it's actually only on Xbox. I don't know if people know that. Witcher 2 is not on PlayStation.
That was at my Can It Play Crisis type game for my PC when I was building it. Was Can It Play Witcher 2?
Yeah. Thank you again, Gio. Iron Keg in the house, Mr. Elu's brother.
All right, $5. Thank you, sir. Cyberpunk 2077 is amazing. It drew me back, and I have been glued. Corporal all the way. Also, you four are awesome. Thanks for being you. Actually, somebody else today, but we're not going to talk about it.
I didn't have a choice in the matter, but I really appreciate the support. Cyberpunk is cool. I wish it was as good as Witcher. I'm constantly comparing it to a game I prefer, which is bad. Don't do that. But my brain can't help it.
But it's tough, right? Because I do the same thing. Like Witcher, when you look at it complete, Witcher is a better game. It just is. But we also have to remember that Witcher is like one of the greatest games of all time.
No, it's bad. Don't do it. Don't be a hogue on this. But it just makes me sad because so much of the moment to moment in Cyberpunk like could be more. Like you can feel how they could have fleshed out some of this stuff a little bit more and added a little bit more context or color or whatever. And you roll into a building and it's got like a lightly cool story, and then you shoot everybody, and like there's 50 of those, which isn't bad. It's not bad gameplay, but it never gives me that feeling of context and color and world building that Witcher does.
It doesn't do it as well. No, I do think that one thing I've realized, and I know you've said this before, all four of us have said it, is that Night City is incredible.
Night City is awesome.
Yeah, and as there are like a lot of cool little things, like like you get in the elevator, for instance, and there's a news broadcast of something happening in the city that's actually happening. Do you know what I mean? Or it's tied to a mission that you've done, and there are a lot of cool things like that. But I agree, it's a shame that they couldn't make certain aspects of the city just feel more interactive or alive in the sense like it's So we'll see what they do with the expansion. The expansion is supposed to be shown later this year. So
I don't know how you guys feel, but I kind of feel part of the reason Cyberpunk doesn't feel as immersive as Witcher 3, and it's a weird reason. I think it's because it's first person. I've kind of just realized that I feel like
you're not the only one who said that.
That was a mistake, kind of.
It's not cinematic.
Yeah,
I said this at the time it came out. That is not a cinematic way of telling a story. And so you you're maybe more immersed in terms of like what they want, which is like you're the person, but that's not how we experience stories. So it takes a step back to me.
Yeah. It's also just not a really competent shooter, in my opinion, and I feel like it would have felt a little more fluid if
it is a very aggressively strong fine.
I don't have a problem with the mechanics, but to your point, again, I know I always do this, but you go from playing Halo, which has some of the best first-person shooting mechanics, in my opinion, the best, to Cyberpunk. Now I'm like, oh my god, this feels clunky. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of like Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 shooting. Like it's fine, it's competent, but like, you know,
it's not what it's for.
Clearly the combat is like secondary, and then it really has to rely on its storytelling and world building and all that stuff, because the combat is not the reason you're there. You know what I mean? So
right, and then the recipe's wrong. It's got way too much combat for what it's not its strength.
Yeah. And then if you, depending on your mileage may vary, I play a hacker, so I just don't even shoot my gun. I just sort of like hide and I hack stuff.
One of the most fun ways to play. I love.
I love that
buttons. Way. Use those bumper buttons.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So this is an achievement for us here at Bitcast, everyone. So everyone who's tuning in right now, we are the first time we've been over 200 people live. This is the first time.
Thanks, everybody.
This is too much pressure. I'm out.
Dan's like, gone. Dan actually has stage fright for audiences of 200 or more.
Oh, look, I said that we dropped under, Dan, so you're good now.
Actually, right at 200. 201, 199. We're all good.
Okay. That's actually why we've been trying to grow the channel, Bitcast. We just want Dan to leave.
But we have to keep it right at 200. You know, that would be terrible. It's terribly hard to do.
Everyone tuning in, thank you so much. I love all of you. I love awesome. This community, man. Like I said, we get, you know, as we continue to grow and more people show up, the same thing happens, though. If you look at the chat, there's nothing bad going on. We're all just chatting games and having a good time, and that's what it's about. So love to see it. Thank you so much. As I'm going to do my best Hogue impression right now. But if you like the Bitcast, you like the community, you like what we're doing here, please like, subscribe, and share us out to someone who you know prefers or likes gaming but doesn't like to deal with all the nonsense we see on social media. That's not what we're about here. So the more we can grow this into the type of community that we know and love here, the more we appreciate y'all. So I just said y'all, appreciate y'all. So thank you so much.
He's learning.
He's learning. Next we'll get him to play 30 FPS games. It's all gonna happen.
Travis, I have to say, in my opinion, that was pretty cool.
All right.
I forgot. We let him get away with that for too long. We got to get back on that. All right,
let's just like you almost doubled the amount of words you say. In my opinion, that was pretty cool. It's like, geez, it's really like why?
Anyway. Because it was 100% worth it just for the effect on you.
All right, there we go.
Naturally. Let's get to the last couple super chats and then we'll get to the thing. Lucy is in the house.
Yeah, man. I've been playing Greedfall recently. You know what? I just downloaded that too, and I have to admit, I really enjoy the world and that they created. I would never check it out if not for Game Pass.
Greedfall is awesome.
Get
ready for the sequel.
I have a video on my channel. It was like my 6th or 7th favorite game of the year it came out. I love Greedfall, but I do think it's leaving Game Pass very shortly. So either check about buying it or check to see what the schedule is. I thought I was in the window that says leaving soon.
And you can, if you, right. It's like a lot of people have described it as kind of an old school BioWare RPG.
Yep, that's what it is.
So if you like the old kind of narrative driven, story driven RPGs, it's solid. I never finished it, but I do own it and enjoyed it quite a bit. And if you're not aware, that the studio who developed Greedfall is Spiders, they're called.
Yep.
Their new game, Steel Rising, comes out in a few months, which will show up. I bet you it'll be at Summer Game Fest. It's going to show up more in this next week. So
I love watching Spiders grow because they started as such an ambitious team that was trying so hard to make RPGs like this, and they weren't awesome at the at the top of things, right? But they kept going, and they got better and better and better. And Greedfall, you can see that they're a smaller team. They use assets. They like reverse forests and make you run through them again and that kind of thing a couple of times. But they've gotten so much better at their world building and their storytelling and using those assets that they have. Greedfall is a high recommend from me. If you're at all interested in that kind of storytelling, it's a fantasy kind of colonial empire setting that has a lot of cool stuff happening in it. And Ains, it was news to me that they have a new game coming out that you just said. So
Steel Rising, and it looks awesome. So
I love smallish teams like figuring out what they do and do well. And Spiders is one to watch because Greedfall is really, really good.
Yeah. Check it out if you haven't, Hogue. If you haven't checked out Steel Rising, go look at the debut trailer for it. You'll be like, "Oh, this looks great." It looks
I'm pumped.
good.
This is why I don't get excited for things early, is because occasionally it's just like, "Oh, that team's making something cool." Awesome.
Yeah, it comes out. I want to say it comes out like September. I think it's pretty close, something like that. Guys in chat, if you have it, you can tell me. But yeah, I think it's coming soon. And then Mr. Hassan in the house.
With the $20 super chat, here's the 2 million more.
2 million more.
2 million more.
We have 200 concurrent. Here's to 2 million more.
There you go.
That would be an insane number of viewers. 2,200,000.
No, I would 100% quit then. There's zero chance. I'm
quit the
just jump in my Honda Pilot and go home.
Honestly, if we got to that number, I'd be selling my bathwater personally. That'd be my route.
If we had 2 million live viewers, this would be what all four of us do. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. We'd have to quit our jobs, and I'd take off this pin. We'd get a
yeah, no more
Bitcast
IGN.
pin.
IGN can't run our numbers. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Well, they have 16 million YouTube followers, but yeah.
I bet they don't have 2 million concurrents, Travis.
No, they definitely do not. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you have 2 million concurrents, that means you have like 50
You might be a
million
god
followers.
king. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
for
if anybody's at that number.
I was gonna say,
But,
but I like Hassan's ambition. I like it.
I do.
Thank
I
you,
think
sir.
during the height of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial, Law and Crime, which was the main kind of non-commentary
I
channel,
saw that
was
one
running
popping up.
running at about 1.1 million concurrents.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
Nuts.
no, which is ridiculous. But that's
that's like a country. of
that's the
people.
freaking zeitgeistiest trial in history. At the main place that you would go if you just wanted no commentary coverage, and it topped out at 1.1 million. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Every time I would turn on YouTube, their average was like 600,000 watching. I'm like, Jesus, like this is wild. I don't even know how you keep up at that point. Like that's
You don't. They don't even try.
Yeah.
But no, I mean we were close to 100,000 concurrents on days.
Nuts.
So
Nuts. All right, we're getting there. We're at 200. Only a little bit more to go. All right, guys. Anything else currently planned before we jump over to State of Play with the big games?
Xbox is running a cool sale that I actually found to have a lot of cool stuff to fill in some stuff that I either had on a system I wasn't using anymore, things like that. They had a game I picked up the other day that I actually have been really enjoying with my daughters called, and I don't know the pronunciation of this because it's not speech, called Kaze or Kaze, which is effectively a 90s 2D platformer with a rabbit mascot. But that has bonus levels in each stage. It has masks that turn you into other animals for different powers. It is a picture perfect recreation of your your Earthworm Jims, your Sonic the Hedgehog 3s, your Donkey Kong Countries.
How do you spell it?
Kaze, and I believe it's and the Wild Masks. But it's I think it's $10 or $15 on the Xbox sale right now. Really thoroughly enjoying it. It's a little bit hard. if you remember old schooler platforms, it's a little bit difficult, very, very colorful, and ridiculously good bit tunes, which
looks like a Super Nintendo game. Genesis game.
Yeah, a little like a bit more bit coloration, but of that type. And I don't know, based on the things that you can collect, it's got like 35 levels or something like that. It's really, really good. It's
That's
challenging. Awesome. You're fighting angry vegetables the whole game, but it gets my seal of approval and I recommend if any of that sounds good to you.
The funny thing is the picture I pulled up had an angry carrot, which looked exactly like the carrot from Cuphead. Funny enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, you also fight angry vegetables in Cuphead.
Yes, you do.
Fewer instances of the devil in K's, as best I can tell.
Lobster 11 in the house says K's could mean wind in Japanese, like kamikaze is divine wind. That's good insight. Thank you, Lobster.
You can also name your horse that.
So it has
your
your typical things, though. Like in every level, you've got 2 bonus levels to get 2 halves of an amulet. You have to get up to more than 100 gems to complete that part, and then there's the 4 letters in your name. So it's got like that Donkey Kong Country kind of collect per level. It's just really easy going, and it's I think it was half off or more on the Xbox sale as I was going through collecting things.
That's awesome.
I
That's
do
awesome.
the same thing anytime I go anywhere. I try to collect all the letters of my name, 100 gems. You know,
I just have an
commuting to
image of you
work.
now running through an airport, grabbing magazines. Oh, there's a T.
There's the C. Yeah, that's my life. My life's a collectathon. It's great.
Sure.
Oh, Jacob, we're
We
getting
all
there.
be all
Baby.
live that way
I'm going
with
to be
floating
talking a lot about Cuphead in the coming weeks. Believe me.
Oh, when is the DLC out? The
June
Justice
30th.
League?
June 30th.
Oh, all right. Okay.
3 weeks away. I'm so excited.
Nice. I will definitely be playing that. I love Cuphead.
Cuphead's
very good.
I'm actually debating because I think I've said before I had 100% of Cuphead, and then I did a charity stream where I started it over on PC, like fresh, and I did it beginning to end on one stream, like the whole game. So I'm debating. I don't know if I want to ruin it for myself, but I'm debating doing a live charity stream where I play the DLC on release that night and just play the whole thing and beat the whole thing on expert.
What if you just roll through it because you're that badass?
So well, I
be
did
surprised.
I did the whole game in 4 hours.
Yeah, that's one of the achievements, right?
In 4 hours?
No, not the first
There's an
time.
achievement
When I
for it.
did the charity stream.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Right?
I
There's
have,
an achievement for it, right? And so you got to do it, and there's a certain amount of time. or
I
something.
don't remember. I do have them all.
Yeah.
I've 100%. I like you have to beat all 6 of the run and gun levels without dying, or without getting hit. You have to. I've unlocked black and white mode. Anyway, I've done it all. You have to beat on expert and all that.
Yeah, I beat it on expert, and then I think I was like 95% of the way through the achievements, and I considered doing it, and then I looked into the time investment, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, so
You guys have a considerably higher capacity for like ridiculous challenge levels than I do.
well,
Dog.
Cuphead is Cuphead is a shmup. Like I've always said, it's a modern animated, hand-drawn animated shmup, shoot 'em up, right? And like that's like my favorite genre growing up with shoot 'em ups, like bullet hells. So I absolutely adore Cuphead. I love those games.
I used to play a game called Blazing Lasers all the time when I was a kid.
I know that game. Great game. Yeah. All right, let's get to State of Play because we got some big games that were shown off this week. So State of Play, Thursday afternoon, just under 30 minutes long. It was primarily a third-party and PSVR 2 showcase.
Yeah.
And they opened the show with one that got everyone hyped right away, which was long rumored, which is the remake of Resident Evil 4. So,
yes, the subtitle to this State of Play was "Hope You Like Capcom."
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. So, a couple details quick is it's releasing March 24th, at least as of today. We know how release dates go. March 24th of next year. For if you didn't catch this, because they didn't say this during the show, but in the press release, they do note that this is a reimagining. This is not a one-to-one remake like a Demon Souls type thing. It's a reimagining of Resident Evil 4, and some things will be different with an emphasis on horror and survival horror. They call that out in the press release.
Yeah, well, I mean, like this is their 2-3 project, right? Like they changed 2, they changed 3, they're changing 4.
Correct.
It's not that kind of remaster.
Correct.
Yes. So, I mean, I would love it if Resident Evil 4 went back to being a Resident Evil of some kind. I was never a huge fan of the shift in the series at the 4 level. So,
I think,
a lot of people love it as a game, and I think I probably treat it a little bit overly negatively because I really enjoyed Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and 4 is not of a kind with that. So I'd be interested to see what they do. 4 is not of a kind with the previous Resident Evils. I mean.
So I think, it's funny because Resident Evil 4, like I know people who that's their favorite game of all time.
Sure, of course. I've heard that.
And then there's definitely plenty of other people like you, Hogue, which, and I think Elu in the chat is like this, where that feels like you, where it's like great game, but it moved too far away from the kind of horror aspect of it.
That's not what I came to the party for.
Right.
I mean, I have no problem with Resident Evil 4, but that's not, that's not what I wanted out of Resident Evil. And as it has turned out, much like James Bond or something, Resident Evil is this constantly morphing thing anyway. So you've got like the first 3, and you've kind of got the middle 3, and now like 7 and 8 are something different entirely. So like they've decided that they're just going to be this kind of, this is our horror bucket, and we're gonna do whatever we want with Resident Evil, which I think is kind of cool. But 1, 2, 3 is my favorite kind of version of that formula. Fair
enough. Yeah. So they also announced right with it PSVR 2 support. So if you remember Resident Evil 7, was supported on PSVR, and
it's great.
And they simultaneously announced Village for Resident Evil PSVR 2 support. So
Village.
I love Village. It's wild, but I loved it as a game.
great.
No, so many people really love Village. See, I'm just gonna we talk about various series, and I sometimes come out sounding like a wet blanket. But like Village, I described as the theme park of Resident Evil. Like nothing feels real. It's just like you go into the rides, and it's like, oh, that's cool. It's Snow White and the dwarves. This is fantastic. And then you leave, and it's like, okay, none of that felt right. None of that felt grounded at all.
It's Resident Evil. You're looking for grounded,
right? Well, heck, the Spencer Mansion is more grounded, even though it has a biochemistry lab under it. Village is just weird. Village is very
that's what they're going for.
I don't.
Yeah, they're going for weird. I think there's starting to be a pattern to emerge, which is that the Resident Evil games, like you said, they evolve, but they do it in like trilogies, and it's like the first one sets up a good basis. The second one like nails it, and then the third one goes too far. That's like it's Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That like to me that right. Well, actually, I guess 5 probably didn't nail it, but yeah.
Yeah,
but 5 was different, and then 6 went all the way out.
Yeah, that's what I say. 6 went too far, but it was like probably the natural conclusion of Resident Evil 4.
5, I never liked how much was designed for co-op.
Hey, our 6-bot spams are back. Hi guys.
Guys, I highly recommend checking out my other YouTube channel, Naked HD. I'm just trying to get a view every now and again.
I had a guy on my channel do a super chat that was in the format of the bots to have me read out.
Did you read out the emojis?
Yeah, no, it was very funny. I was like,
great.
I don't know, purple plant emoji.
We got it.
My point is, Hogue, that if you really didn't like Village, get ready for the third one in this new trilogy because they're going to go too far. I
really didn't like Village. Like at a fundamental level, I really didn't like Village. I liked the dollhouse, but it was too short, and I was oversold to me from like the PC gamers of the world and things. So like expectations are a thing when you're evaluating games, and it's like this is the scariest thing ever, and I'm like, oh, I mean, all right.
No, I don't think those games are scary. I don't know that they.
No. I don't go there for fear or chills either. But I just didn't like Village. I didn't like Village. Didn't work for me. Too goofy.
There you go, Dan. See, they're not scary. It's fine. Come play Resident Evil.
Village
they really aren't though.
Dan, Village is really goofy.
Yeah,
really.
I can't. I mean, it's just too much. I mean, it's at one point like when this whole Sony thing. I mean, there was literally it was like horror, Capcom, Final Fantasy. That's basically what I saw the entire time, aside from the Horizon stuff. But
Dan, I don't think you're wrong. I'm going to back you up. I'm going to back you up on this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like I can't do any of that stuff. Like, it's one of those, horror genre. Like, I got Ghostwire Tokyo. That is probably the closest I'll ever get to like kind of a horror game, but it feels more like Control to me than it does, something more
supernatural.
Like
I'd say Ghostwire is worse than Village in certain respects.
Really?
I would. Yeah.
That one Village I never even touched. So it was 7 that I think I got to the gate where the crows go, and then that was it. It was literally like 3 minutes. It's right after the cutscene of
play it in VR. I want to
play VR.
Oh my video God. Of Dan playing Resident Evil 7 in VR.
No.
You guys ever see a cartoon where the elephant gets afraid of the mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's perfectly right. I've said before, and it's old on our channel now, but remember when they brought back Resident Evil 2 remake, right? When they first showed it, and they released that 30-minute demo you could play. You remember that? Like 5 years ago. Me, Bert, and Dan sat down and had Dan play that, and we recorded it. And it is one of the funniest things you'll ever see because he's freaking out the entire time.
Resident Evil 2 remake is one of the best remakes ever.
It's really good,
in
really
my
good.
opinion.
Yeah. Anyway, we were all over the place there, but Resident Evil's coming back. Not that it's been gone, but for me, Resident Evil 4 is one of my gaps. It's one of the few Resident Evil kind of main games, obviously, that I never finished. I played it on GameCube, never finished it, haven't touched it since.
It doesn't have a lot of drive. People love it as a game, but it's very bifurcated from Spanish Village to Napoleonic Castle. It doesn't have a lot of drive for saving the president's daughter. It doesn't have the same kind of push forward that a lot of the really good Resident Evils do.
Dude, Hogue, you're the ultimate gaming hipster. I used to call Ains a hipster because a lot of his takes are
Why
like.
do you think I brought Hogue on Bitcast? I need to.
Yeah, dude, he makes you look like mainstream by comparison. The ultimate gaming.
I like Resident Evil 4, Travis. I just it really doesn't have a very good plot narrative or drive. I mean, it doesn't.
Well, and the interesting thing, not that it
fair.
wasn't.
I don't think any of the Resident Evils ever have, but yeah.
I think when it's at its purest form, the Survive the Night Resident Evil works as a Survive the Night type game. When you try to broaden it, you have to be more careful with what you're plotting. And so, Resident Evil 4 is a mishmash of things, all of which are okay in the moment, but that doesn't work terribly well as a story.
Yeah, so they seem to be tying this one more for that reason, right? If you look at the press release, they call it the reimagining, and then they also specifically call out that this is 6 years after the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3. And so I wonder, as they do these remakes, if they're trying to make them more cohesive. Because if you read the press release, that's what it feels like.
3 definitely did. If you look at what they did with 3, they built it to work with 2 in a way that 3 and 2 never did in their original form. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they could ditch all of the Umbrella died in the stock market last Friday and somehow figure out how to not make it seem so anticlimactic from fighting them for 2 straight games. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Got some super chats that have been sitting. Let me get to those.
Sure.
Tao back in the house again.
God, Tao, you gotta slow down, man. All right, soldiers, check it out. Ains and Hogue, Indie Metrovania. You guys might like it. Not sure if Travis likes Metrovanias, and I don't think it's a damn game. You are 100% correct on that last.
I own that game. I need to play it still, but yeah, I love.
I'm sorry. What's the game?
Soldiers.
Soldiers.
Soldiers
Spelled with a soul because they're going for the SEO optimization.
Okay, we'll check it out.
SEO optimization.
That's
is optimization.
I don't know.
It's like saying ATM machine SEO optimization.
I do that all the time too. But as you were clicking your thing, it was really messing with the audio, so it sounded very odd.
Yeah,
so,
that was really super weird.
What's this game on?
Yeah, that's what I was going
to
ask.
It's on everything. It's on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, Steam.
Okay. Sweet. Thank you, Tal. Appreciate the recommendation. Eric in the house.
Yeah. It was a $6.99 Canadian. Thank you, Eric. You all look fantastic this afternoon. Well done. However, not as fantastic as Killer Instinct. # bring back Killer Instinct.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys saw the kind of debacle that unfolded yesterday. So
I saw a fight of some kind.
Well, Xcast, which is a pretty big Xbox podcast with Paris Lilly and Snowbike Mike and Gary Witt, I believe. They basically spoke up about Killer Instinct and they kind of downplayed Killer Instinct. They kind of I won't say insulted it, but you know what I mean. They downplayed its role, and it's one of those things where if you're not familiar with Killer Instinct and the community it has and the love in that community for that game and the support it's gotten, you're better off not speaking about it because it's one of those subjects where people are very passionate about it. And if you try to talk on it and you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it, like many subjects, right? And I think they made some comments where the Killer Instinct community basically jumped on them and basically said, you don't know what you're talking about. So that's what happened. So now it started a whole thing for bringing Killer Instinct back. But Killer Instinct does have a bigger community than most realize. It was very beloved for several years there during the Xbox One generation. And there's a lot of people who'd like to see that come back, me included. I think it'd be cool if they bring that back. So thank you, Eric. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Gecko Gamer back.
Man, keep going. Can you rate every mainline Resident Evil game plus remakes? I cannot, but
that would take like 3 hours. But we can probably give you our favorite. Why don't we each give you our favorite?
The original Resident Evil, like before it was remade and all that stuff, like the
way back in 1996.
That's the only one I actually played all the way through, actually several times. So that is my favorite one.
Fair enough.
True. Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to rate my favorite, but I'm going to tell you what I think is underrated. I really, really enjoy Code Veronica.
Underrated Resident Evil game for sure.
Underrated.
Me and Hogue had to do it again, Travis.
Do you not like Code Veronica?
You're on mute.
We can't hear him.
The hipster life is that what you had to do it? Yeah.
I think there's some people that think Code Veronica has not been brought back for a reason. That's part of the conversation in the Resident Evil universe, but I think it is a underrated entry into.
When would the timing be? When does Code Veronica actually come out in the real world? Is it between? It's between 4 and 5.
I don't know when it takes place.
I'd have to look at the years. No, it's not when it takes place because that's a little bit more.
Yeah,
that's different. But like, when does it release in the schedule? Code Veronica would be
it
great
released
to
on
blow up.
Dreamcast originally in either 2000 or 2001.
So, but that's going to be really close to Resident Evil 4, right? Like those are close to each other.
4 would have been after it on GameCube. After it.
All right.
Yeah. So between 3 and
4. The best
4,
Resident Evil game is, drumroll please, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Weirdly, great
Revelations
game.
2 is solid, but I hesitate to allow you to call others hipster, Travis. If you're rolling out Revelations as your winner.
I mean, it's so good though. Well, here's the thing. Resident Evil 4 is probably the best one, but I'm just trying to mix things up because
I think 2 remake. I think 2 remake is the best Resident Evil.
2 remakes up there.
I disagree, but yeah, it's a good game.
I really like Village. I love it.
Me too. Yeah, and that would go somewhere on the top half of my list for sure.
I love it. It's a great game.
Trying to decide whether Village is last for me or not.
But here's the thing. No, it can't be last. It cannot be last.
What would be below Village?
Resident Evil 6 exists. That
I
game
like
is
6 better than Village. I will stand
on
the hill.
Oh my God.
I like 6 better than Village.
There it is. There it is. There's our moment for the week right there.
Resident Evil 6 is a better game than Resident Evil Village, and it didn't have to stretch to try to fit Roman numerals into its damn subtitle.
Boy.
Again, I don't have my popcorn. Every week, I look for my popcorn.
That's crazy, Hogue. That is unhinged. You know what? You are a radicalized YouTuber.
Oh my God.
Stand with the Washington Post. He's radical. He's radical.
Can we get a Travis stands with the Washington Post mug?
Just Travis in the corner, like
yes.
Wapo.
That's right. That's right. No, I this is not YouTubing. This is not crazy faces and red arrows. I 100% stand behind the fact that I enjoyed Resident Evil 6 more than Village.
It isn't even playable as a game. Its mechanics are busted. It's like a shooter that doesn't work. I'm just so fundamentally that game is broken. Like, you don't like the design of 8, but geez, 6 is like.
Elu says Resident Evil 6 is not even close to Village. Resident Evil 6
I agree.
Is a special place next to the ET cartridges.
Yes, it does. It is a travesty of games.
I do agree that they're not remotely close, if that makes you feel better.
Oh no, Hogue.
Hogue's doubling down. I love when Hogue doubles down. I love it.
Me too.
Me too. Oh man. All right. Okay. We spent way too long on Resident Evil already. That's one game.
What are we doing here, Ains? We're talking about games. You're always so worried about the schedule.
I am. I'm sorry. I know.
Hey, this counts as us doing PlayStation coverage. This
is state of play.
Yeah, this is 100% state of play coverage. 100%. So all that said, do you believe Resident Evil 4, beloved game, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
They are going more horror in this reimagining, and we already know how gorgeous and stunning and brilliant the RE engine is with their new games.
Oh, it is fantastic.
So, taking all of that into account, I would argue, even not having finished the game, I would argue that this certainly has the potential to be the best Resident Evil game ever.
I like 2. I like escaping the city. I like broadening out the Umbrella conspiracy more than I like French castles and robot knights. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what they change, if anything, about the game, because I have to take it with a grain of salt when they say get ready, it's going to be darker, because that plays well in PR, but I don't know what it actually is going to be.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's gonna be good. Resident Evil 4 is one.
It'll be good. It'll be a good game.
No,
there's no risk really.
Yeah, pump for it. It's gonna be very interesting.
There's no risk, really. Famous last words. So, reimagining an all-time favorite, there's a lot of risk. But yeah, I think it'll be
there's the risk there is, can it exceed the game that came before? It's not, will the game that pops out be good? The game that pops out will be good.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
It'll be good. The one thing that's interesting, so they went from Resident Evil to a couple PSVR titles. We saw the Horizon Call of the Mountain again. We saw the Chapter 2 of Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, promoting PSVR 2. But the interesting thing here, The interesting thing, right, is they didn't show any more of the hardware of PSVR 2, nor release date or anything else to do with.
I thought we might get a release season, and we didn't.
Me too. I was hoping for it. And the interesting thing, right, is they're showing these games specifically with Resident Evil 4 Remake that has a release date that they're saying is on PSVR 2, but nothing about the hardware itself. So I'm really pumped about VR2. I know we've talked about this before. I'm really excited to check it out. The hardware is obviously a substantial improvement over VR1 should be more, it's more powerful than a Quest 2. So I think
everything's
a wire it should be.
That's true.
Yeah. The Quest 2 is like one of the lowest end. Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason to have a wire if it's not better than the Quest 2 in terms of performance. So.
Correct.
That's fair.
Correct.
That's fair. But I'm pumped for it. I wish we would have gotten something hinting as to when we can expect that hardware.
Super weird, right? Like it's super weird for you. Get excited, and we're not going to give you a whiff of when you should be excited for. It felt to me like they wanted to pull the trigger on holiday 2022 or near there, and they looked at it and said it's not a clean enough promise.
Yeah,
which means it's not going to happen in my mind. But
yeah, it's not happening this year. I think that's clear.
Right.
They would have given us something.
Right. Yeah. But it felt like they wanted to, and they didn't. So
yeah.
2023 is looking pretty dry, guys. Which I'm excited for. Yeah, 2022. I'm looking at the year of the backlog. Here we go.
Yeah, I know this fall is looking a little bit horrific. Your one Ragnarok delay pending from like everything moving out.
But what about Forspoken?
What about Forspoken, Dan? What about Forspoken?
I have people because I've spoken out about how bad I think that game looks, and
it looks awful, and I hope it's not.
It does. It looks like Recore to me.
I never.
Maybe it'll be like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, Travis,
maybe.
The optimist, Travis, the warrior of light here.
Travis is our optimist here now.
Guardians look.
I've always been the optimist. I think
Guardians look like trash. I'm not allowing you that, Travis.
It looked pretty bad, and then
Guardians looked like trash. It was my game of the year. If we can pull that off again, wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it looks really bad, Forspoken. Like, I think it's going to be genuinely bad, but I never hope for a game to be bad. Like, I want it to be good, but I have people, I'll call out Dash and Mo and a few others who think it looks really good. And I'm like, are we watching two different things? Like, what are you looking at?
I think it looks good already.
I think it looks good already.
That's pretty. I mean, teach their own.
Yeah, I think
it's more of a commentary on like what is coming out, which is absolutely nothing. So
yeah, you're furthering the point. Yeah,
nothing triple A, but I'm happy about that. I mean, I need some time.
There's plenty of games. There's going to be
so many games.
Yeah. By the way, we got one more super chat in here I want to get to because we have to get it up on the screen.
Yeah, Chelsea Nagy with 999 super chat. I stand with the radicalized YouTuber Hogue.
That's who
we all do.
Unbelievable take. Unbelievable.
For the record, this came in with Resident Evil 6, just so we're clear.
Yes.
Yeah. But hey,
but she made clear not to support that.
I don't know. This came in.
No. That was right after Resident Evil 6. This person is saying they agree with Resident Evil 6 take, and
Chelsea, we need a clarification here because I need to
Travis says I stand with the Washington Post, and this is the response.
Yeah, I will take your $9.99, but that is blood money in my opinion. That is Resident Evil 6 money. I can't agree with that.
Chelsea, you got to clarify in the chat whether you meant Resident Evil 6 or just in general you stand with Hogue. I'd like to be clear. Don't super chat again. Just put it in the chat. I'll keep an eye out.
Actually, I do have a Resident Evil 6 story that if I don't share it now, when am I going to? How often does Resident Evil 6 come up? So my friend
for a good reason.
Exactly. My friend, one of my really good friends, recently got engaged this last week, and he asked me to be his best man. Great moment. This guy I never would have reconnected with because I kind of barely knew him in high school. But one night I was up late. What was I doing? I was playing Resident Evil 6, a game that had just come out. I was at the very beginning of the game. I could already tell this game was unplayable. Like, just
look at the bias. Just began playing, folks.
Dude, I was playing it and I was just like, oh my God, this is hot trash. So I figure, well, it's got an online mode. It'll probably be fun to play with another person. Who else has this game? And that guy, this friend, was the only other dude online. I had not talked to him in like 8 years. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to send him a message. We'll see what happens. And we had so much fun just laughing at how terrible that game was that the next time we played together, he came over to my place and we played it on the couch, split screen. And we played through all strains of that game. It has like 4 story paths, and we played through all of them. And we laughed our asses off. And we laughed our, it's 3 and then a 4th unlockable.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we laughed our asses off, and then we have been close friends ever since. So Resident Evil 6, terrible game, but it brought me and my friend closer together, and that's a beautiful thing. So even bad experiences can give you life-changing moments. That's kind of cool, right?
And Resident Evil 6.
And oh God.
Damn,
oh, why are you dying on this hill?
Oh, God.
I don't have a great deal of love for Resident Evil 6, but I think it's a better game than Village.
Oh, man.
No.
Boy.
No. All right. We've got to move on.
If you like Resident Evil 6, then I've got a YouTube channel to recommend. Naked HD. Hop on over.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
sorry, I'm taking care of the bots. Me and the.
I was just asking the
mods.
You might, if we keep growing, Ainge, you might need to turn subscriber mode only on.
Yeah, I know it's kind of crazy, but anyway, of course, Jibs, thanks for coming by, brother. Then we get my game of the show personally, which was Callisto Protocol. Protocol. We got a full kind of 2-minute trailer for it. They've already announced that Glenn Schofield himself, who's the head of Striking Distance Studios making the game, and was part of the original Dead Space team, by the way, he is going to show off full gameplay at Summer Game Fest on Thursday. So excited about that. But we did get the full trailer for it. It looks, to me personally, just incredible. Everything that I'm looking for out of this game, this trailer showed me. It showed tension and horrific environments, great monster design, just everything. Definitely, right away I was like, this is not a game for Dan. Perfect. That's what we're looking for out of this. If Dan could maybe play it, they haven't gone far enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If it's not completely gate kept from Dan, I don't want
it. That's about as gatekeepy as I get. Can Dan play this? That's not hard enough.
No.
Do better. So I don't know. For me, this was my game of the show. I am ridiculously pumped about this game. It comes out December 2nd. We are talking about 2022. Here we go. Coming out this year. It does have, interestingly though, it has a collector's edition, deluxe edition, all that stuff. Has a season pass, which you don't see too often nowadays, but it is a smaller studio. I'll give them a pass on that one, no pun intended. But the game itself looks great. So what do you guys think about this one?
I don't think I saw a game, Ains, so much. I don't know. I like the tone.
Well, the cinematic trailer, yeah.
Yeah, I like the tone. I don't. My recollection was I wasn't sure about the voice acting. I don't know how big of a studio this is, so I don't know what they're purporting to deliver to me.
40-ish people. I'm gonna look it up as you're talking, but I think it's in that ballpark.
So I think it looked good, especially for that kind of size effort. I'm very interested. I didn't know that they had said that they're going to show gameplay on Thursday, so I'm very interested in that.
Yes, yeah. So very pumped for that. Obviously, gameplay will be we'll see what happens when that happens. But
well, I like sci-fi. Sci-fi horror can work. I'd prefer something more Dead Spacey than Event Horizon-y. So I will wait on judgment until I see a little bit more.
Yeah, it looks like it takes place in a prison, like a futuristic, obviously, prison. So you kind of have this set up there. It actually, like a few people mentioned, it had Butcher Bay vibes, from the old school generation.
Butcher Bay is fantastic, but I have to admit that in terms of setting, it gets a little samey because it's a prison. So I don't. Sure. That's it. That's interesting. You say that it's a prison, and I immediately say, okay, I don't expect quite as much. So we'll see. Yeah, I know Dead Space was heavily influenced by Event Horizon, chat, but Event Horizon was the bad version of what Dead Space became.
Man.
Dan.
Yeah. I got here's the thing. It looked cool. Never going to play it. That's going to be one of those things where it's just like I miss out because of my anxiety and fear of having a heart attack. I'm seriously, I'm like 2 Twinkies away from the coronary, so this is not I'm not going anywhere near a game like this. It's more of a health thing, for me. Some people go on a diet. I just don't play these games.
And by the way, I was way off on my Striking Distance studio. So as you can see, I'm kind of looking, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Distracted. I'm looking at their studio. They list every employee with pictures and bios, which is really cool. They are easily over 100.
Like I can see it in the background.
Yeah, sorry. I know. I want to get, I'd say about 120, 130 people, big studio. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
probably why
the director is Glenn Schofield. Yeah.
Schofield,
yeah. So I mean, I think that's better.
Yeah.
My concern would be repetition, either in assets or story, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah,
Travis, you got nothing on this one?
I'm excited for this game, but yeah, I mean, I'm always optimistic and positive until I play the game, and then the gloves come off, and I try to just see what it actually is. But yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be optimistic and excited about a game and assume the best until I play it. We'll see.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Except for Forspoken. I know. I'm just kidding, guys. It could be Guardians of the Galaxy. We don't know. Anyway.
You have to have some sort of realism, right?
No, I mean, Travis, I love that take. I'm going to think of it that way every single time until proven wrong.
I love that. See, this is it. His fall down with Resident Evil 6, and then we get Episode 4, A New Hogue. I love it.
Well, I would love Forspoken to be awesome. It just looks like garbage to me. So
yeah, it does not. I'm not comforted by it, but Guardians of the Galaxy, that's the bar.
Guardians is so good if you haven't played it.
Redemption arc, everybody play it.
All right, so December 2nd, Callisto Protocol. Like I said, if you're interested in collectibles and stuff, there is a collector's edition. They haven't shown everything in it yet. I mean, there's a list, but it's not for sale yet, so keep an eye for that. Then we got obviously one of the biggest games of the show, which was Street Fighter 6. So Street Fighter 6 shown. It is multi-platform this time, so good news. It'll be on Xbox Series consoles, PS5, PC, and PS4. So that's really interesting. If you weren't aware of this, it's coming to PS4, not Xbox One. So it's kind of a weird mix there, but it is coming to all. I give a little context here. I can't remember, honestly, guys, where you guys stand on fighting games and Street Fighter in general. So obviously, like many people, I grew up playing Street Fighter 2. It was a game I played ridiculously heavy in the arcades around that time with MK1 and 2 and played tournaments in all the time. I love those games. I've fallen off of them with 5. I didn't play 5 hardly at all on the PlayStation 4. But I really like what I'm seeing out of Street Fighter 6. I think the animations, the backgrounds look stunning, and super excited to see what they do with this. It's coming next year, so we still don't have a solid release date. But I think this is going to be, hopefully, Capcom has been firing. I tweeted about this. Capcom has been firing on all cylinders with their franchises lately. I mean, they're just delivering very high quality. And it seems to me like Street Fighter 6 is going to be that game that, they really bring Street Fighter back to kind of the forefront of the fighting scene. That's what I'm hoping for out of it. And if you didn't see, by the way, I forgot to mention at the top, there's a whole breakdown of everything State of Play on our site, including additional details from the press releases and links and stuff. One of the links that leaked was the roster for Street Fighter 6. We don't know if it's day one, but there's 14 fighters that have been leaked so far. Obviously some returning classics and some new characters as well. You can find that on our site too.
14, isn't that small for Street Fighter? I don't play a ton.
For Street Fighter, not too much.
Okay.
They've had their games where they have about 12 or so at launch. The more interesting thing to me in looking at it was there's only about, I want to say maybe 8 to 10 that are what you would kind of consider classic Street Fighter characters, right? So you've got Ryu, you've got Chun-Li, you've got Ken. Then you've got Cammy, you've got a character like DJ, right? But then there's a few kind of more obscure Street Fighter characters, and then I think there's 3 to 4 new ones that are on that list that were uncovered. So, which is not a bad thing. My main is Sagat. Sagat's not there, so I'm a little disappointed. But outside of that, it's new, right? And I think one of the traps fighting games fall into too often, in my opinion, is kind of having a new game, new engine, new environments, and then giving you the same characters all the time. And it's like new blood is a good thing, generally speaking, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I think it's a good mix, actually. 8 to 4. It's like about the ratio you'd want, right?
Something like that. Yeah. Akuma's in it. Yeah. Yeah. Someone said, sorry.
Well, let me ask you about the graphical styling, because this is going to be subjective. but it's a pretty big departure from what I'm used to seeing in the Street Fighter landscape.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
It is.
I don't know. I guess Ken looks the same to me.
Really?
Sorry, Ryu does.
Rue and Chun-Li are the mains they showed in the trailer, but
Chun-Li looks wildly different to me.
some people said
I
that.
can't
I
really
thought
remember.
she looked great.
Okay.
But
So
Yeah.
I will say, Hogue, I when I watched the state of play, I was a little like, because there was that whole snafu with that logo a couple months ago, and they announced the game originally, and I was like, it didn't look that great. But then I saw gameplay after the state of play, and I was a lot more comforted. The animations look super smooth, and
I think I have to go watch that because I'm just going off the state of play coverage.
Yeah. So just looking at the cinematic, I had kind of the same feeling of you. It was like, it looks a little weird, but
it looks a little weird. Is
gameplay,
right. Like I'm not quite ready to say it looks bad, but it looks weird. And I
looks so
really
weird.
I really liked I don't know what you'd call it, full comic outlines, bold color Street Fighter approach, and this is not that.
No, it definitely looks different. I really like the way it looks. The animations are staggeringly good, in my opinion. But we'll see. Obviously, it's also hard to tell. I mean, you can got to get a grand scope of what this looks like, right? But until you see it in motion properly, it's going to be kind of hard to get a gauge on.
And are you super pumped for a Capcom presents an open world adventure thing with Street Fighter?
Yeah, so I tried to get more details out of the press release, which just said new modes and stuff. People know Street Fighter way more than me. I don't claim to be an expert, but someone mentioned that Street Fighter Alpha 3, I believe, introduced like a world kind of hub and segment, which this kind of look like. So as usual, right, it'll depend on the implementation. Show me what it actually is, what you're actually doing in it, and then I'll have an opinion on it.
Okay.
So Bass Digi says MK is way better. Sorry guys, nothing to be if you like MK better, that's fine.
Yeah,
I like
think
MK
I lean
better.
NetherRealm. I think I lean NetherRealm just because of the
it's got a better world quality. For sure.
Yeah, MK is my favorite fighting game series. I mean, always has been since I was a kid. So.
I mean, is it even a contest? One is like a battle for the soul of the universe, and the other one is literally just people fighting in the streets. So I mean, it's not really a comparison.
Yeah. They should name it Street Fighter or something.
Yeah, it's literally just like you ever been in the street? You ever seen a fight? We got that. That's the whole game. That was the whole premise.
Oh man, too funny. All right. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see when we see it next. Who knows? Ash, by the way, says that there's actually a leak showing 22 characters. So we'll see, right? We don't know.
That would be pretty ambitious for a Street Fighter game at launch.
That would be. So it could be planned DLC. We don't know, right? They're all leaks, so who knows? Then we got Stray, which is this cat in the future
in a dystopian Orwellian world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we saw this previously. I think it kind of generated a little buzz when we first saw it. It is coming soon, July 19th. And it is the first game and the only one announced in this show that I saw where this is going to be day and date launch on the new PS Plus Extra and Premium tiers. So
everything but essential.
Yes. Yeah. Everything but your current PS Plus members. So this is going to be one of those games. But I was always intrigued by this game, but the more they show it, the less excited I am. I don't know if I'm alone in that.
It's got some cool environments. And the cat looks cool. I don't know what the game is.
Exactly. That's my point. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on. I don't know.
Yeah. I hate cats.
Could be good.
Generally. So,
I'm
every once in a while.
I weirdly find myself on board with Dan, but it could be fun.
What was the name of that PlayStation 3 game where you had all the animals in like the overrun city and you had to Tokyo Jungle. Check that one out, folks. Maybe it's on Extra or Premium.
Wow.
I love it when Hogue just throws a random game I've never heard of from
Tokyo Jungle.
50 years ago.
It's like the animals have taken over Tokyo, and you have to go up the animal hierarchy.
Yeah, you're right. It's a classic. Shame on me.
It is a classic.
It sounds good. I want to check it out.
I think it might be a Sony first-party game. I'd have to go look.
Really? To look too. Nick said Chinese food simulator.
I want to play it. I want to play this game.
I'll check it out for sure. Asa,
did you work Scratch and Itch in there? That's possible.
I did. Scratch an itch. I want to play it right now. It'd be good. Yeah,
Oh,
good times.
God. Asa in the house. Good to see Asa. He said, yeah, I'm not here for dodging spotlights either. So, yeah, that's what I mean. I kind of need to know what the game is behind this. I don't know.
I don't want to just be a cat avoiding spotlights for the whole game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unless the story, Hogue.
Hey, I'll give it. The story could be awesome. I'm not going to get to see it for free because I'm not buying extra. But we'll see. We'll see what people say about it. We'll see what people like you say about it, Travis.
Yes.
The critics.
Yeah.
By the way, Hogue, you're on the ball. Real Radic, I think that's a new name in the chat. Good to see you, brother. He said Tokyo Jungle is a Studio Japan game. There you go.
Look at you guys.
I played a few games.
Call out. That's why you join us here. There's someone on this panel that has played the game that you like.
Tokyo Jungle. Now I'm curious about whether it's on like the premium tier or something.
Review Tokyo Jungle for IGN. Might be a little late to that one. I'd love to.
I bet IGN did review it. I bet IGN's got a review of it up right now.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. All right, a couple super chats to get to. I know the one from Eric has been sitting for a little bit. Let's grab it.
Yeah, man. I was hyped for Callisto until I found out it was no longer part of the PUBG universe. I never knew it was.
Was
part
it?
of the PUBG. It was.
It was originally announced as part of the PUBG universe, I think, purely for
Weird.
promotional purposes.
Unsurprisingly, since it came out in 2012, Tokyo Jungle was reviewed by none other than Colin Moriarty of IGN. It was given an 8 out of 10.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
What can I say? That guy's a hoopy fruit.
I don't even know what that is.
What?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You don't know what a hoopy fruit is?
No.
He really knows where his towel is.
Do I know what?
He really knows where his towel is.
This is a Michigan thing, 100%. Because
I'm not playing with you. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
Travis,
about.
We don't have those in Kansas.
Smiley, do you know this?
No,
Be
I'm
honest.
just as confused as they are.
All right.
You
It's
want to
not a
explain
Michigan
to the
thing.
chat? Is it a positive thing, or should we move on?
It's a positive thing.
Okay, let's go.
What is it? Can you just?
Yeah,
2
you've
seconds.
got people curious now. You might as well go with it.
Yeah, hoopy fruit.
All right. So go read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and you'll find out who a hoopy fruit
Oh,
is. As long as you really
okay.
know where your towel is at.
Thank you. Okay, I get it now.
Oh,
All
are you
right,
drinking
great.
vodka?
Drinking vodka. It's good. I just wasn't expecting a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference out of that.
Yeah, and I never read
you're
this
right.
book.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh
Wow,
yeah,
I
it's a
highly
great
recommend
book.
it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Thank you, Eric,
Wow.
for the super chat, and Gio Rio back in the house as well.
Yeah, man. Stray kind of boosted on the negative reaction of Cyberpunk at first, I thought.
I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
I think he means it got.
We were looking for a real Cyberpunk.
because of the Cyberpunk environment, but hopefully a good.
And where did we turn to? Stray. Cat game. It's the only way to redeem the Cyberpunk.
Well, you have to admit
genre.
that cat is definitely navigating a cyberpunk type world.
Yes, that is true.
It's true.
Thank you, guys.
It's all going to be hacking mechanics as well.
Yeah, probably. All right. What do we got? And then, of course, the big one at the end. There were a couple other little games. I'm not going to touch on every single game. Like I said, there's a breakdown on our site. But the big one that I know a lot of people are pumped for, I was not impressed by this trailer.
No,
Final Fantasy.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
So,
Neither was I.
yeah.
This
so,
is
what are we
this
doing,
was the
Yoshi?
one game you. This is the one game you asked to see at the State of Play.
but this
Well,
is,
So
Go
they
ahead.
announce it in 2020 and say, this one, we're not making the same mistakes we've always made. This one's close to being finished. Yeah, all right, Hoss. Then you come in and roll in 2022. You don't show jack shit about actually playing the game. You show big fighting sequences between whatever you want to call them. I think they're icons now. They're anything in any given Final Fantasy game. You show them fighting with each other. I get some stuff that looks like it's got better lip syncing than it did 2 years ago when I saw this game last. And again, as much as Final Fantasy 15 doesn't offend my conscience, I still don't think of that kind of gameplay as what I'm looking for my Final Fantasy. Give me Remake 2 and get out of here. But 16, I hope, is awesome, but it's never going to feel like an action game is never going to feel purely like Final Fantasy to me. So, big
you want
fighting
a
sequences.
turn-based game or
What?
go home? You want a turn-based game or go home? Is that the Hogue stance?
No, because you look at Final Fantasy VII Remake and they actually examined what made a Final Fantasy game and they brought it into a modern time. This is, this
Isn't
is the
that
same
an
as
action
15.
game though?
What?
It's an action game though.
No, it's got you're using turn-based spells, and you can go for a full pause mode. It is a reimagining what active time battles is when we can animate them on the fly. That's how Final Fantasy VII
about the
remake
remake
works.
or the original?
I'm talking about the remake.
Oh, okay, got it.
Well, the original is active time battles on a turn-based menu.
Yeah, I got you.
Right. So this one wants to be Devil May Cry, right? Like you could see, he's like throwing people up with his sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see he's throwing people up with his sword, and he's firing at things, and then there's giant monsters fighting. I hope it's awesome.
He's got to kill chaos, though. You can't kill
I look at
chaos
it like
on a turn-based.
Forspoken.
I'm 99% on board with Hogue on this one. So the funny thing about this when I saw it, right, is to your exact point, Hogue, because I said the same thing to friends the other day. I said, okay, they said this was near completed. Then he comes out and he apologizes for the delay in seeing it again, right? And I'm like, okay,
we're just holding off for a close in time release announcement.
Exactly. Then we're like, oh, that means we're going to get gameplay and we're going to get a fall announcement, right? That's what I expect. Then he comes out, they show a 2.5-minute trailer that really didn't show much other than these giant creatures.
And had big words.
And then say summer 2023. And I'm like, what was that? Like, you apologize for a delay, then you come out, give an over a year out date without an actual date. You just gave a season.
Always assume one season more. Whatever range they give you, assume one more.
Right. So I was really disappointed in this. Now, the only thing that really does give me hope, and I don't know if you've looked at this, is the actual team that they've assembled to make this game.
Yoshi's amazing.
Yeah,
the game's going to be good.
Yeah, you've got. So I don't know all the names. I know Final Fantasy guys go crazy for this, but you've got basically the people. The core games they made are Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 12, and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yep.
And you've got these kind of director and art style and soundtrack and all these people. It's like a Final Fantasy dream team, basically. That is making
it's the Serious Castle version of Final Fantasy, which is some people's favorite.
And
you can tell that from the trailers. It's the Ivalice without Ivalice kind of approach. So I mean that's an approach that I like as well. But yeah, it'll be a good game. It looks good. Is it going to give me Final Fantasy vibes? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Well, and funny enough, both Afropunk, good morning, man. Good to see you. And JP in the house, good to see you. They both announced here, which I didn't know, which it is the combat director from Devil May Cry 5.
Good. Of course it is.
It's a great game.
My face.
Yes, it's a great Devil May Cry game.
I mean, I guess my
roll your eyes all you want, but if I was just eliminating genres that you like, Travis, you wouldn't be thrilled about it, man.
Yeah, I guess
turn-based fighting game.
I'm just super irreverent to the Final Fantasy series because I don't know. I've played all of them, but more than half of them aren't even good. So it's just it's whatever. I'll play them, but hey, if it's a good game, I don't really care what the combat's like.
You've made Hogue close his eyes for this segment.
More than half.
This guy supported a Resident Evil 6. I can't,
More than half. Yes, one of the highest selling Resident Evils. I am so off on a limb.
Highest selling always means good, as we know. That's why Call of Duty is the greatest game of all
more
time.
than half aren't even good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? No, I don't know.
Wait,
Help.
What Final Fantasies don't you like? You didn't like Final Fantasy 15.
I did like Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, okay. You just don't. So you like them all. They're just not Final Fantasy to you.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15, I don't think captures the Final Fantasy 15 spirit as much as I would like. Your assertion was more than half aren't good. Don't approach the threshold of good. More than half.
Yeah. Good being
I'm struggling with this.
7 out of 10 or above.
More than half are below a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy.
Okay. Mediocre. Some actively bad.
You guys are giving me way too many clips to edit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I think you clipped it too early this time.
What?
Yeah.
Just give me.
We have to go through all of them.
Give me a couple of 6s out of 10s or below, Travis. What are you talking
Final
about?
Fantasy, what is it? X12. That one.
X
not great.
What are you talking about? X2?
Lightning Returns. Lightning Returns is a
13-3?
6 out of 10. Yeah. I mean, there you go. There's a little taste. Final Fantasy 15 is probably a 7 out of 10. It's probably
Chelsea
right
says,
on
I think it's Travis who's drinking the vodka.
Yo,
man.
give me your list of all the games with a score and tell me, or whatever. Anyway, like Final Fantasy is one of those series where like I've played them all, but I'm sort of just like meh on them. On most.
One of the most
some of them are
consistently
fantastic. Some of them are
strong
fantastic.
video game series in the history of our industry, and Travis doesn't like most of them.
Hey, I'm not just talking
his judgment accordingly.
Just to be clear, well, yeah, it says the guy who says he likes Resident Evil 6.
More than
go through
the hardest thing in the world.
go through the entire Final Fantasy catalog, and I'm
Yeah.
not just talking about mainline games. I'm talking about all the spin-offs, all the games. There's a lot of trash in that series. There's a lot of it. So
Well, I'm not going to evaluate Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon 2.
why not?
At
Why
the same level
shouldn't
as
you?
Final Fantasy, because the mainline numbers are there for a reason, Travis.
Okay,
You
but
want me
they
to bring
still
in every
count as
Resident
Final
Evil
Fantasy
online
games.
game?
They still count as Final Fantasy games. My point stands.
You want to talk about Resident Evil Raccoon City? What,
Yes.
What do you want to talk about?
You guys talk
man?
about what is Code Veronica? So
Code Veronica is just an unnumbered mainline game.
I need a cigarette.
all I'm saying is a Final Fantasy game is a Final Fantasy game, and there's a lot of weird stuff out there. How many Final Fantasy games are there? Like 50?
Final Fantasy proper. This is obviously the 16th, and then we'll allow the sequels. So there's like a couple more in that milieu. But you're not going to drag in like, Chocobo Goes to the Market.
Why
the
not?
mobile
They're Final
game.
Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Because that's not what we're evaluating. You want all
All right, guys. If you narrowly define the Final Fantasy
Narrowly
games,
defined by
only
the
the
numbers
ones
in the
that
series.
Hogue likes, then all of them are great.
Yes,
That's what
I
you
only
do.
included everyone with a number on it.
Yeah. There are plenty of numbers in Final Fantasy that are not the mainline games.
There are 2 sequels to 13, and there's 1 to 10. That's it.
Yosemite says, hold on, X, I guess Roman numeral 13-2 is an actual number because I'm an accountant and I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Yeah,
13-2 and 13-3, yeah.
13-2 and 13-3 are actual numbers, and those are not strong games.
I just want to say I love you both.
Yeah.
13-2 is pretty good. 13-3 is all right.
Is it a 7?
There's a
13-3 is easily a 7.
13-3?
Really? Come on.
13-3 is easily a 7. A 7?
I'd say that game is okay. 6 out of 10.
13-3 is easily a 7. If for the soundtrack alone.
Oh my!
Yeah, the soundtrack is not a valid component of a video game, Travis. How could I be so crazy?
Yeah, I know. It's soundtrack alone gets you to a 7 though. And if you write a review, you go soundtrack 7 out of 10, and then that
That's
7
where I would have
to 10,
started.
that's
Yeah.
all gameplay. It's all story. Everything else is in that.
It's really
7 to 10
how I
bracket.
rate the Ace Combats as well.
Yeah.
The soundtracks are magnificent.
Oh my god. All right, so Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, it pissed me off. It literally did piss me off. I tweeted out that I was like, "Come on, bro."
So
I'm
Dan
sure it'll
Travis,
be good though. I'm sure it'll be good.
Travis seems relatively indifferent to the Final Fantasy games, but where do you guys stand on what they showed?
I already gave my piece on 16.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
Travis
I think that it looks good. I'm okay with Final Fantasy trying new stuff. I would kind of argue that's what the franchise has always done. They're just trying new things, and with their world and their setting and their characters and all the stuff that they do. So I like Devil May Cry 5. If you want to put that combat in a Final Fantasy game, cool. I'm open to it. But again, I'm pretty irreverent toward the Final Fantasy series. I'm sort of just like, yeah, it's I'll play them all. I've played them all. Just they're not my favorite games in the world like Hogue. So I don't really.
Final Fantasy
To me, it's not a sacred cow. Hogue has a sacred cow in this race. You know what I mean? So that's the way I feel about it. So when I see them trying something stupid, I'm like, yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah.
You already got 50 games in your series.
Well, and I think to Hogue's point, right? I don't necessarily hold them that way either, but obviously there are millions of people who do, right? So I think I've read a lot of people who kind of within that community that, are those people who adore Final Fantasy. And I think, like I said, I think a lot of them, at least anecdotally, are looking at the staff making this game, right? Like I said, and saying, okay, this is going to be a really good entry. So I think that's what many of us are holding on to. But I did see some people that were really excited by what they showed. And I'm like, it didn't feel like we were watching the same thing. I'm like, I don't know how you're getting that excited over what they showed here. But hey, if you are, then great. Dan, I can't play the Final Fantasies.
No, I enjoy the games. I mean, I hopefully it'll be good, but I didn't see anything there that made me go, hey, Final Fantasy. It did look like something else. So I mean, it's we'll see what happens. There's so many games out there that you just kind of look at now, and it's just like I have no idea. Like what they show, what they show this week could be completely different than what we see later on, or and it might play better than we think. But I think Ho's right. It's really not what you think of when you think Final Fantasy. It doesn't. I don't know. Like 15, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. But it wasn't. It didn't feel like it was real Final Fantasy.
No, that's why I didn't like it. I was like, Final Fantasy to me, to Hoag's point, or to me, is castles and knights and kingdoms and these interlocking stories and these big battles with summons and stuff. And when you show up Final Fantasy 15 and you show 4 guys driving in a car, I'm like, what the hell are we doing?
What about 7? Is 7 not Final Fantasy?
Okay, hold on, Travis. I was going to just say I don't think it's locked to kingdoms. Even when 6 starts rolling in, it's Magitech and they're adding in robots and kind of steampunk elements. 7 becomes a corporate kind of discussion and then goes out into medieval things outside of it. 8 is wild and woolly and is fully futuristic and science fiction. 9 rolls back and says, hey, let's go do that stuff we were good at again. Yes. 10 then says we're all in a dream and everything's sad. 11's online. 12 goes back to those castles. 13 goes back to the future. 14 goes back online, and then 15 does cars. So I don't have a problem with different worlds in Final Fantasy. In fact, I think that's pretty cool that you can approach the concept of an interlocking operatic melodrama across those things. It just doesn't come out in what they've been currently working on and in 15. And I hope that it does in 16. Yeah. But if you're going to make it a single player, a single party member type game, you've already lost a lot of what made Final Fantasy's ingredients work.
Fair enough. Yeah. So we'll see. Obviously, I mean, we're having this long discussion on it, right? But in all honesty, they haven't shown a lot of what this game is. Like they've shown these cinematic segments of these summons and stuff, but we didn't really see much of what the core of this game is. So
I don't know if that's going to be an ongoing trend this summer. With all these release things, we're just going to keep saying, "Hey, it looks good," but I don't know what it's. It's just going to be Summer Game Fest, I think. Going into that segue, shout out.
I hope so. Right now, I'm only looking forward to like Saints Row by default.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So you got this year.
Mana Culture here. For me, they're not going to surpass 9 anyway, so might as well go for something crazy. Mana Culture.
I actually thought 9 was a little bit artificially cloying for like the response for people asking them to go back to castles.
Noise.
I did.
I
did. Takes. I thought 9 was mostly a response to 8's reception, and I thought 9 was a bit of like, fine, you want this? Here you go.
I've always
gotten that vibe from 9.
It was no doubt there. It was no doubt that, and I know I'm not alone. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with 9.
That's what I expected especially at that time. I mean, we were talking a long time ago now.
I could sing Melodies of Life right now. Sure.
All right, let's go ahead and move off of State of Play. We've got we'll get to Summer Game Fest and Xbox and Bethesda here momentarily. I just wanted to mention kind of 2 things, actually game news related, that happened this week because I know they have big audiences. So Fortnite new season kicked off last night. They did one of their big events, as they tend to do. They probably do better than anyone else in the industry. Yep. Their new season is called Vibin. Includes some
Vibin?
Vibin, Vibin.
Like we vibin, Travis.
Oh, this is a Gen Z season for sure.
I had to write it down because I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm old.
They're having more music concerts in this summer.
But it includes obviously some map changes, some gameplay changes. There's mounts I saw, and the new battle pass. People got excited because it has Kenobi and Darth Vader, and Darth Vader is actually unlockable within the battle pass. So that's all I know about it. I'm sure there's people that know a lot more about Fortnite than me. But, I see, again, a lot of people I know really enjoy Fortnite just because they've gotten very good at this, right? At keeping content fresh and keeping people engaged. And it seems like this was a very positive reception to what kicked off. So
they're good at what they do.
They
know most of their audience. They know how to grow it as well. I'm sure Fortnite is going to proceed on a successful path. No build mode is very successful for a lot of people.
Yes, that's the mode I like.
And it's not a surprise to me at all that their transition event went well.
Yeah, They're good at it. So figured I'd shout it out.
Yeah.
The other thing is IGN, Mr. our IGN representative in-house here.
Look at that pin. Yeah.
I know. They have the first this month, and they are covering the new Sonic game, the mainline Sonic game. So Sonic Frontiers, and we got the first kind of
Sonic of the Wild.
Oh no! Don't start.
It is. Wait.
Don't start.
Wait.
No,
am I off base?
You're not wrong. Just,
okay.
Just don't do it anyway, please.
Oh.
Let's save that conversation.
Yeah. Why compare games to other games? It's not helpful.
Not Breath of the Wild.
I think it explains what you're looking at without watching the Sonic trailer. I think if you say Sonic of the Wild, I think you get a notion.
Yeah, that's sadly fair. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just going on the people I know who love Sonic and write about it, but it seems pretty mixed on this with some negative kind of. Can they really make a good Sonic 3D game? I guess is the question. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Sure.
Yeah. Possible.
They made a good Sonic movie. I mean, like anything's on the table. Go for it, dude. Like you got some goodwill.
Yeah.
I think I would have preferred the Kirby approach. Actually, I wound up liking the level design in Kirby, even though it pretended to be open world. I really liked what they did with the Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So this, I don't know. To me, Sonic is at the full-on prove it to me stage for every single release.
Yes, me too.
For sure.
So it's like,
for sure.
I don't know. That idea could work. Show me what you guys put together.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I watched it and I was like, I'm like you. It's like, all right, let me see this when it's completed and I'll try it, but I haven't been too impressed so far.
Yeah.
Well, it's still early in the month, y'all.
Yeah.
Well,
we should ask, as Ash said, Naked
know.
HD what they think about it. They seem to be very engaged.
Yeah. Follow me on that channel.
What channel?
Naked HD.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
You know, I was thinking.
Do you have a Naked low res subscription? Because
yeah, I do. Yeah, that's our free
Camera's out of focus.
Yeah, for sure. Blurry naked photos. It looks like it's censored, but that's just the low quality of the. Yeah,
you'd probably be better off.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I think? I think we should make a bot that goes to their channel and just comments about Bitcast. Interested in video game takes? Yeah.
Why come to your job
while you're here?
What I do?
More game takes than Tinder.
Yeah, more game takes than Tinder. We'll say, yeah.
Dude, that's gonna be our new slogan. The Bitcast: more game takes than Tinder.
More game takes. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. It's
beautiful.
Yeah.
We got a couple more super chats I want to get to from Mr. Gecko Gamer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do it.
This is the first medieval Final Fantasy I've seen, although I haven't played Final Fantasy 14. My time is already being consumed by Warframe. Nice.
So
that's the thing. That's the thing about like Ains' impression, right? Because these things take so damn long to make for reasons that are beyond my ken. The last medieval Final Fantasy is either 14 if you play online, or realistically 9 if you don't. Or 12, I guess 12. Well, 12 is like Star Wars meets medieval.
Yeah.
Like 12 is weird, but let's give it 12 instead of 9. It's still years and years and years ago that 12 originally comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, 100%. I'm assuming, Gecko, that you're probably a little less seasoned than us because, that was a big kind of part of the very early games. But as Hoke said, Final Fantasy's been around now. What was the first one?
35 years. It's the 35th anniversary this year.
Okay, so 87. Yeah, 87. I was going to say 88, so I was close. Because, Phantasy Star was 86. So, it's about right. Man, God, we're old.
We're seasoned.
I like to use seasoned as a synonym for old. Yes. Like you're a little less seasoned than us.
A little less seasoned.
Call yourself old, own it.
Yeah, we'll get some memberships up in here. We'll get some emojis that are pepper and salt and relative seasonings, cumin. Whatever you prefer.
I hope that given the talent, going back to this real quick, given the talent making this game, that this is one of the best kind of new recent Final Fantasies, and that it does have the medieval take on it, because that would be awesome.
They've got a lot of good talent.
I think it's going to be good and probably have an awful story. That's my guess.
Will it be a 7 or higher?
It'll probably be a 7 or higher.
I'm out.
It's a mainline game. The mainline games do better. Well, you think this one's gonna have a good story after the prequel game?
No, he's done.
Remake was fantastic. So I know they have the capability.
Final Fantasy remake, Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
right.
but they
I'm sorry, I
already
just
had the
call it
story.
remake. Like Madonna, it only needs the one name in
Yeah,
mind.
they already had the story for that one. I'm
They
talking about
did.
based on the whole Kill Chaos, prequel game or whatever. But yeah,
Why are you equating Final Fantasy 16 with the Team Ninja take on Final Fantasy? I'm just curious.
I'm just going off of the tone I'm getting from the game so far. But yeah,
You're getting
We'll
the
see.
tone of Stranger Paradise in the trailer to 16.
kind of, yeah. We'll
Damn,
see.
we got you guys back on it again.
No, it's bad news.
I guarantee you, it will not have the same tone as Stranger Paradise. I guarantee you.
All right.
All right.
Get
Yeah.
I'm
going.
sure it'll be a better game regardless. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I hope it is. Although Stranger Paradise is not off.
I agree.
Episode idea: the Resident Evil franchise versus the Final Fantasy franchise. Yeah.
That would be a debate, that's for sure. I know there's hardcore fans of both. So yeah. By the way, Gecko said he was born in 97, so yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
Born in 97. You guys are laughing at
Gecko,
that.
thank you for your support. That is awesome, man.
My stepdaughter was born in 92. So yeah.
Your stepdaughter is 3 years younger than me.
Yeah. If the math checks out, sure.
Wow.
Travis, you being born in the mid 90s is just hilarious.
First of all, I'm not born in the mid 90s. I was born in 1989.
Okay, sorry, I went the wrong direction with my math. Lawyer math there. All
I
right,
I was technically born in the 80s, though barely. It was like the very, very tail end of the 80s.
Yeah, you're on the end there.
Hmm.
All right. Okay, guys. So we've got Summer Game Fest next Thursday. We also tried to coordinate possibly reacting to this one, but that didn't work out either. Mr. Travis, as you know, he plays this little game called Destiny, and they have this little thing called Guardian Con, which like 9 people go to, I think. But he's going to be partaking in that with his last word, Brethren of Avantis and Cog and a bunch of the other community, which is awesome. That kind of threw a wrench into some things due to travel, but I hope you have an amazing time, dude. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Which event is this for that we're talking about?
Summer Game Fest, which is this Thursday.
Summer Game Fest this Thursday. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be on a plane all day.
You're
I mean, hey, I could try to stream it from airplane Wi-Fi.
You can't even like stream podcasts from airplane Wi-Fi. Never mind anything else.
Yeah.
So
I am going to be watching it from the plane, though. That's my goal.
Okay. All right. Well, what we know so far, Keely's supposedly this kind of hype trailer is supposed to come out today, I think. I didn't see it yesterday. He said this weekend. But we're starting to hear about some of the things we're going to get at the show. We know, for instance, we're going to get the first gameplay from the Modern Warfare 2 reboot. They announced that formally. We're going to get the first gameplay from Callisto Protocol, like we said. And we expect things like Hogwarts Legacy.
Yay!
Some other reveals here. I think Skate 4 has been mentioned. I've got my notes here. Someone, it might have been Jez over at Windows Central, mentioned Dino Crisis is actually going to show up somewhere in these summer shows, which would be kind of interesting. Talking about Capcom again.
Well, that could easily be PlayStation Plus Premium mains.
Fine. Yeah. You mean the old game? Yeah.
I just mean like you got to watch out for any kind of rumor now because like they put Siphon Filter back up, so who knows?
Yeah, this is true. So, anyway, I know we talked before briefly, about a month ago about kind of expectations for these shows, but we've got the show Thursday afternoon. Is there anything kind of third party that you think about from kind of the big studios that you're really hoping for? Anything you want to see here?
I'll take more Legacy any given time. That's going to be massive.
Legacy?
Hogwarts Legacy.
I'm sorry. Hogwarts. For some reason, I was like, of Kane? Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Another one.
He'll take more Legacy of Kane.
I'll tell you what, when Embracer gets them, get ready for Legacy of Kane. They know exactly how to mine the nostalgia points over at Embracer.
For sure, yeah.
This is a random one. I realized I was trying to think of more obscure ones that I want to see. I want to see Time Splitters. We know that, because we know that it's being worked on. Like you just said it, Embracer, one of the studios under Embracer, they announced like 6 months ago that they've been working on a new Time Splitters, And so, you know, I would love to see a tease of that somewhere. The other
They
big one,
announced
much
6
bigger than
months
Time
ago.
Splitters,
If they announced
is
6 months ago, you're getting a cinematic trailer if you see it, right?
It's like
something
Homeland,
like that. That's
like
all
the
I want.
Homeland people. That's the Time Splitters crew. That's the old Free Radical team.
I don't know. But you didn't inspire confidence by saying Homeland.
Homeland 2 isn't the worst thing in the world, but like that's where you can get the Time Splitters game because it's Free Radical people.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So, I mean, there's talent there, right? So, yeah, hopefully. And then the other one I had on my list, which is far bigger than Time Splitters, which I hope we finally see something of, is BioShock. We know this.
That's what I would have said too.
Yeah, I know, Dan. I know.
Oh,
So
interesting.
we know that this has been in dev for supposedly years now. We don't know what kind of dev, right? There's all these different stages of development. So I don't know where this. Nobody knows that I'm aware of where this game sits. But I want
Levine has long since stepped back, right?
Oh, he's
yeah.
gone. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
way gone. Yeah, this is 2K, published, developed by a different studio. Rational Studios is. They made. Remember, they stopped BioShock. They made that like half horror game. I forget the name of it now, which didn't do very well. And I'm pretty sure Rational's gone now, right? Like, I don't think they're a studio anymore.
I honestly don't know.
Mind. But anyway, yeah, I really hope that somewhere this summer we see BioShock in some form.
It's a good
Well,
one.
yeah, I don't know. BioShock was done. It's always a question to me whether you stretch things too far, just for the sake of using a name and a label and whatever. So, you got the original minds behind BioShock gone. You've got a label with an IP that they want to make something of. That's not usually a recipe I get too excited about, but I will look forward to whatever they have to show.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
mean, it would have to be something new, right? I mean, it's
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I
Infinite.
thought that was the point of Infinite, is that they proved that BioShock doesn't have to just end at BioShock. I think successfully.
Yeah,
There's
and
lots of
they
stories to tell there, I think.
agreed. Yeah, and that's
Hopefully better than they tell it at Infinite, I guess. I don't think that
come
proves much of
on.
anything.
Oh,
Infinite? You're not going to really stand behind the story
Great.
of Infinite.
yes. Come on. BioShock Infinite's awesome.
Infinite made the Detroit Become Human allegory of racialism look subtle.
I'm not speaking on this one. I'm just gonna sit right here. we got to reboot Travis.
we got to reboot Travis, and I'm actually at a loss for words. I don't know where to start here.
Infinite is.
The Infinite, you know, like the tags on the sides of the TV
If
show.
only you would hold
beginning, the
Resident
end.
Evil 6 to the same standard you hold BioShock Infinite. That's all I have to say.
I'll say BioShock Infinite's a better game than Resident Evil 6.
All right, we're getting somewhere. I'm proud.
Well, I just dislike Village a lot. I mean, that's why you got my Resident Evil 6 take. But no, BioShock Infinite is a hollow shell of what BioShock was in Rapture. Columbia is not the same. It's way, way, way too on the nose with every bit of allegory it wants to have. All the time shifts are way too blatant and don't tell a cohesive narrative. The end stuff with the kind of sadness and the lighthouse and everything else, that works pretty well. But the rest of the game is nothing even remotely close as good as Rapture and BioShock. It is that summer sequel. It's Friday the 13th Part 7. It's bad.
Oof.
It's not as good as 1. Nothing will ever top Rapture.
No.
BioShock 1. I mean, that's legendary. But I still think Infinite was an amazing game, personally.
Yeah, it's an amazing game, and I just think, like, after you play BioShock 2, you're like, they should have stopped. Like, this isn't going to work. You're not going to be able to make BioShock like a big franchise. And then they reset, took way too long, but they did BioShock Infinite. And the takeaway from that game is that you can tell stories in this universe. There's life after Rapture, and I think you can not like BioShock Infinite. I think you're crazy to do so, but you can not like BioShock Infinite and still say that what they set up for, the idea, a principle behind it, without going to spoilers, because there's lots of people for some reason haven't played BioShock games.
There's
lots
always
of people
a lighthouse, folks.
There's always a lighthouse. That's the important thing. But I think there's lots of opportunity to tell great political stories, just like BioShock 1 did and BioShock Infinite did. So
Yeah,
I was with you until just like BioShock Infinite did. Bioshock Infinite's political story is garbage. It is garbage. It is
man.
trash on fire that is then hurled off a cliff. It is garbage.
Well, here's my clip for the week. That's even better than what you gave me earlier.
We're not done yet, Ames.
I really don't honestly think it's close. I mean, it is a high schooler's impression of what a politically astute essay might be.
It's super heavy-handed.
It is ridiculous.
It's so.
I mean,
crazy.
so is 1 though. BioShock 1 is like the most heavy-handed criticism of Randian objectivism ever. I mean, that's sort of its whole thing. It's like just right in your face. They named the character Andrew Ryan. Like they couldn't have been more on the nose with that one if they tried. So I'm just saying, you got to hold both games the same standard. That's sort of its thing. But
I really just like punching people in the face with that spinny thing, and like that was the
go.
fun part for me. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just being silly and swinging around a skyhook. Yeah.
Skyhook. Yeah.
Also, the performances in Infinite. Oh, so good.
Whose performance in Infinite?
The main characters. So good.
Booker.
Voice acting.
Booker.
You get
Elizabeth.
Troy
DeWitt.
Baker.
Booker
You get
DeWitt.
Troy
There you
Baker,
go.
traditional Baker performance number 3 out of Booker DeWitt.
He's not great.
And
He's a great Joel.
BioShock is by Cloud Chamber Studios. Ken Levine's is Ghost Story Games, exactly, in their game. I forget what their first game was called, but didn't do very well. So funny enough, you've got a couple people that are laughing, Hogue, at your take. You've got a couple people saying Infinite's the best one. That's a bit too much. It's not the best one.
I have no problem with
come on.
Infinite.
I can see the argument for it being the best one, frankly. But I agree with you guys. I think BioShock 1's the best one.
BioShock 1 is if you're talking about those 3 games, BioShock 1 is untouchable. Like
unless you're talking about multiplayer, BioShock 2's multiplayer surprisingly underrated.
Underrated.
It's quite good. It's quite good. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Assassin's Creed's multiplayer, where it's one of those things where you're like, no, this is gonna work, and then you play it and you're like, all right, that was actually kind of cool. And then they never do it again. I don't understand why they abandoned it.
It's because Ken Levine didn't do it. He didn't like it. It was remember
a separate team,
studio
right?
made part 2, right?
Yeah.
It was funny. At the time back then, I'm not friends with him anymore, but I was friends with a guy who was very, very good at online shooters and stuff. I played Halo a lot with him, and he played BioShock 2 multiplayer. He was top 10, like all-time leaderboard in the world.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now I found out why you're not friends with him anymore.
Well, I'm not friends with him. It's a much darker story.
Oh no! Okay, well,
Here's our clip. Let's do this, Ames.
No, I'm not touching that one.
But yeah, like Elu Spook in the comments saying Assassin's Creed multiplayer needs to come back. I kind of feel the same way about BioShock.
I love Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Let's bring bring our crew back together, Travis. That's a good take.
Agreed.
Also, I like the chat. I like the chat. Prey is the best BioShock. I'll agree to that.
Prey
That's a pretty good take. That's a pretty good take.
If you miss BioShock and haven't played Prey, you need to go play Prey because that's our modern BioShock for sure.
It's quite good. It's quite good. Yeah, I feel the same way about the Assassin's Creed multiplayer as I do BioShock 2 multiplayer. So hopefully,
I was just going to say,
straight up can't remember BioShock
games. Stop making them so damn big. Make them 20% smaller and put multiplayer in it, for God's sake.
Yeah, for sure.
I would be fine.
It used to be the model.
No thanks.
Well, it's not like you like how big the game is anyway, so you're not losing anything.
Yeah,
Dan.
that's true.
Player game.
That's fine.
All right. Anything else on Summer Games Fest, guys? I know we've kind of touched on it a couple times, but anything you want to see? Anything, or you just kind of going in dark and hoping for some fun?
I don't like to bring in hype expectations for the most part. I would love to get excited about something coming out this year, like really excited. And I don't have that right now.
Hopefully, Hogwarts lands, right?
Hogwarts, yes, but I think there's a decent shot Hogwarts moves right out of December at Summer Games Fest. Like I think there's I just don't have any faith in people hitting the specifics.
Hogue, you'll be hanging out in Hogsmeade that winter with Hogwarts. That's my.
I would love it.
That's my insider scoop.
Well, I think Warner Brothers has to see that the Red Seas have parted, and they better take their shot when they have it, which is like.
Speaking of Harry Potter, have any of you guys seen that play, The Cursed Child?
No.
I got front row tickets to it this past week. Just on the day of, somebody hit me up and was like, front row seats. I was like, what? Yeah, let's go see it. Unwatchable. It's
Oh,
horrible.
no.
It is
Oh, you were going the other
so
way.
bad, dude.
Yeah.
It's like somebody wrote fan fiction of what they wanted Harry Potter to do, like post Harry Potter, and it is like it's got all the things you fear that they wouldn't do, like excessive time travel plots and like let's bring dead characters back and like unnecessary romances of characters you didn't care about. Oh my god, dude, it is just
Great.
garbage. And I'm so glad I saw it, and everyone should watch it. It is a very enjoyable time, but oh my god, it's hot trash. Anyway, I digress, but I saw that.
On that note, I hope Legacy doesn't get delayed.
Yeah, yeah.
As you mentioned, Warner Brothers, it occurred to me, right, that they currently are slated to have Gotham Knights in October and Hogwarts Legacy in December, which of course would make their fourth quarter. So I have to, in the back of my mind, I always wonder if there's some pressures after the delays already to say, look, you're going to hit the state in December.
Oh, I think there's massive pressure at Warner Brothers. Consider also they just had a major merger and change in ownership. So they're proving themselves either for staying there or because their higher ups are telling them to prove themselves for the value of them as a spin-off asset. So there's a ton of pressure on Warner Brothers to hit these dates. So the fear there is that they hit them hell or high water and you get whatever you get. Now, if there's fighting internally there, that's the Warner Brothers executive saying, Cyberpunk. We all just learned this lesson. Don't make us release Hogwarts in a bad state. Hopefully none of that is in play. Hopefully everything is right on track. But you could easily see that kind of situation happening because of what Warner Brothers Games is right now, which is a hot asset that they might be trying to move.
Yep. That's exactly where I was going with it, because you want to be able to show that fourth quarter was X. We'll see. By the way, Chad, as we're talking through this, any big games you want to see, anything, expectations, throw it in the chat. I'll call it out because there's a ton of different games that people are excited for. We're not going to touch on them all, but I'll give some shouts out. One I did forget about, which Kevin mentioned, Kevin Cost says Plague Tale Requiem. So that should be coming this year too. And
that's not. Is that this year for sure?
That's in July, I thought. Wasn't it?
I thought we didn't get a date for that one.
Yeah, it's like the end of June, maybe.
No,
Didn't last episode you tell me it's really soon?
Yeah, it's super. Yeah, I'm almost certain it came. They had a release date. It's coming to Game Pass.
Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'd take Mafia 4, chat. I just think Hangar 13 is slowly getting killed off.
Yeah, they are. I actually thought Mafia 3 would be the last game.
So did I, but I like Mafia 3 a lot, so I'd love them to get another crack.
They are making a new Mafia.
Yeah, Mafia 3 is also an underrated game.
Mafia 3.
I have this list.
It's one of the best soundtracks in the game, man.
Yeah. Wow. I have this list of games called my. It's like ambitious game. I can't remember what I call it, but it's basically the games I never finished that I always want to go back and finish, and that game's on there.
Mafia 3 gets cool.
I need to finish that damn game. The first couple hours are so.
I admittedly never played it, and I have the collector's edition sitting literally 10 feet over there, sealed.
Bro,
Mafia 3 is my go-to example for an inciting event, driving you through a long time into the open world. That the games that don't have that happen. Mafia 3 has a fantastic introductory sequence that gives you incentive for a good long time.
It's open world and combat isn't even that good, but they nail the storytelling so well. You're like, dude, I need to see where this goes.
I've heard that the characters, the story, and the soundtrack are incredible, and it's just plagued by boring kind of open world
sort of
stuff.
It's very mid like GTA wannabe, but whatever.
One of these days, hopefully play it. But anyway, let's jump over to Xbox and Bethesda. Obviously, some of our friends like Miles and Jez and Rand and those guys have had all their shows talking about expectations and kind of things without leaking too much, of course. There's a lot of expectations here. There's one I saw, I think it was Gecko actually called out, which I want to touch on because we keep hearing, and there's plenty of evidence to show that GoldenEye is returning, this remastered GoldenEye that is going to launch on Xbox probably this year. I personally think, I don't know where you guys stand on this, but I personally think people are in for a bad way when they try to go back and play GoldenEye. That game today, and I'm not just talking about like because of the graphics or frame rate, right? That game is so poorly designed considering today's world of video games. It doesn't matter if you shine it up, make it 4K, update a few mechanics. It's not going to be good. I'll 100%. plenty of money right now that if they release that game and it's not a complete reimagining, remake, like we were talking about with Resident Evil and stuff, it's not going to be good.
100%.
Why are we? I mean, that's what we expect anymore. It's either remakes or remasters, or I mean, where the hell is the creativity? I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see stuff like Avowed that is a brand new IP, right? I mean, it's just we're so conditioned to
I think you mean
expect
Forspoken.
mediocrity. I mean, so that's what we get. I mean, if you continue to just be like, yeah, hey, this game, which is obviously like a 2, is like a 8, or we just sit here and it's like, this is what we get. You get fed the same regurgitated garbage over and over and over again, and it's just I want some new stuff.
GoldenEye's a 2 for you?
For me?
Yeah.
No. I GoldenEye, there's no reason for it to come back because there's so many other games out there that are superior in every other way that do
exactly.
the same thing.
It's like you ask the average person, like, what's your favorite first-person shooter from the 90s, and they'll be like GoldenEye, and I'll be like, I don't think you heard me. I didn't ask what's your favorite shooter on Nintendo devices. I meant what was your favorite shooter, period, in the 90s. And then it's just like this weird thing where people have this
Dark
super
Forces?
rose. It'd probably be like Unreal or Quake, something on PC would be my guess.
Don't get me wrong.
Neither of those games had plots.
I loved GoldenEye at the time. I loved it.
Yeah.
I played
Marathon. Can I say Marathon?
Good call out.
Everybody wants like Rise 2 and all this, and just like stop it with this stuff. It was a mid game. It looked nice, but just stop it, because expect better is what I'm saying. Don't sit there and say, okay, we need a Rise 2, we need a Recore 2, stop just naming Xbox franchises and putting a 2 behind it. Okay, we can have good stuff. They've got so many amazing studios right now. Expect better. Don't temper your expectations. Don't. That's the dumbest crap I've ever heard. Expect greatness, all right? And they should be giving you that. You're paying them $15 a month for your Game Pass or whatever it is. Expect to have some good stuff, some great content, some really, really good games. Not Rise 2, not a remake of GoldenEye or like a Perfect Dark. Just stop. Stop.
Get them, Dan. Get them.
God, it drives me so crazy that you get mid games because you expect mid games. That's the whole thing, and they're going to continue to give you mid games if you continue to consume that garbage. Why would they not? I wouldn't give my kids like hot dogs, like the garbage bar-ass hot dogs. I would feed it to them all the time, but they don't, because they have taste, right? Because I've instilled that in them. So I'm trying to instill that into you guys.
But have you put it in Kraft macaroni and cheese? I don't.
Oh no,
that's amazing stuff without ketchup. I don't know. I saw some garbage on. That was insane to me.
Ketchup on mac and cheese. This is not a thing where I'm from, and I don't understand that.
I don't understand it either.
It's generally speaking an East Coast thing, because I'm from an East Coast. A lot of people put ketchup on their mac and cheese, which I think is weird, but people do it.
Yeah. I mean, these games that you want, so they didn't sell well because they weren't great, or why would you put more? Or why would Xbox or PlayStation, whoever, put more money into those kind of IPs that don't produce the cashola?
I'd be diving deep on the remasters. Give me a Vandal.
Oh my gosh!
Give me
if you're going way back, maybe you can pull something out of your butt.
Jumping Flash PS5.
No,
Yellow Mustard.
Played them already. I want to play something new.
What?
That's just. I need to delete that comment.
Unbelievable.
Jacob.
Have you never had
yellow mustard on watermelon? We're gonna stop the show. Hold on.
Yeah, this is over.
Hold on. I'm sorry, audio listeners.
Okay, so
here.
My counter to what Dan is saying is that you're 100% right. People should expect better.
No, hold on, Travis. Hold on. I was seriously stopping.
We have to stop the show. Okay, all right, great.
Because I've never heard of yellow mustard on watermelon. Has anyone else heard of this? Because if I'm scared right now.
Yeah.
Well, folks, you can find me at Hoglaw on Twitter. It's been a pleasure talking with you today.
I've had salt on melon before, but that's not great either. So
salt on melon. That's
I'm baffled right now. I'm baffled.
My
Okay,
wife put salt
sorry.
on cantaloupe, so it's
go back. That threw me off. That threw me off. Travis, continue, please.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, we should expect better from games. I think the hope with sequels to games that weren't that good is that they will learn from the lessons and build upon it. So I think people wanting sequels in From the Rises of the world are probably just saying, look,
This
it
is all we
wasn't
got to
great,
choose
but
from?
it wasn't great, but the sequel could get there. And there's actually plenty of examples of that happening. Video games are unlike movies in that way, that the sequels are usually better. They're because they, better technology, and there's lots of Halo 2, that's a better game, I think. Yeah. And then the other thing is with remasters, I think there is an argument to be made for game preservation for games that you can't access anymore, and remaking those, making them playable on new platforms, totally for that. But I am not a fan of remasters or remakes of games like The Last of Us. I don't think we have a game preservation problem on The Last of Us. I think we know exactly where to find that one. So generally agree though that people should be expecting more. And that's a weird thing to like hope for in a showcase. You know what I hope for? I hope Rise 2, because I feel like that would be like that's like a room dividing announcement if they say Rise 2 is coming out. And I feel like if you're doing your dream list and there's a room dividing game on it, like you're setting your expectations kind of low. So
Knack 3 or we walk.
Right.
Yeah. That's like people are like Morbius 2. It could be good. Let's try it again.
Well, the equivalent on the PlayStation side of Rise 2 is Order 1886. A lot of people want to.
100%, and that does not deserve a sequel.
That's good.
It's a good game.
Terrible.
Comparison.
It's terrible.
Order is terrible. Order's just short.
Yeah.
Order's fine.
No, it's bad. It's bad.
Oh,
it is
God,
like it is a shooting.
rough.
It's a shooting gallery game.
It is a
where,
shooting gallery. It's Mad Dog
don't interact
with
with
some
any
cool
of your
backgrounds.
Terrible.
Mhm.
Terrible.
I like the
They had a lot
setting.
of
I like the
potential.
characters, but they just didn't do anything with it.
Setting the
Yeah,
characters, the plot are cool. It's a shooting gallery.
I
You're
don't
right,
even remember the
Travis.
characters. I remember one of them was a werewolf at the end. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Two
You
of
had
them-
your chance.
Two of
You
them were
screwed up.
werewolves at the end.
Two of them werewolves at the end. Fantastic twist. Might I say, the second werewolf, that really surprised me. That was the one that got me. The second one was a werewolf.
Well,
So,
I mean,
I don't know.
they had the Holy
was
Grail.
just-
It was a whole thing, Travis.
I remember thinking aggressively, like, wow, I don't like anything about this. It's like Bad Men in Black. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
I mean, it was a tech demo type game. I mean, it was the one that comes with your graphics card. It still looks good.
There are Order 1886 stands, by the way, and every time I see them, I'm like, who
I would
are
describe
you?
myself as a stan, but I didn't hate the game like you did.
No, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun.
I didn't hate it. It's probably a 5. It's mediocre. 5 out of 10.
All right. So for the Xbox owners, I wanted to do something what I think is fun. I don't know. We can do it with our audience here. So I've got a list of the games that have either been rumored to be shown, speculated, just a list of games from what would be Xbox Game Studios. So I'm going to say the game, and then each of us are going to say yes or no, whether it will be shown at the show.
This.
And then we're going to, when we do our Monday special, we're going to revisit this and see how we did.
Sure.
Can we do thumbs?
Thumb
Yes
up, thumb
or
down?
no? Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I guess for audio
Where's
listeners, they
my
would hate
thumb?
that.
Yeah, we need audio listeners. Yeah. Sorry. So I'm going to start. We'll just go one by one. I'll tabulate it later and then bring it into our Monday show. Okay.
Sure.
Cool.
Chat, feel free to go with us live here if you want. I'll see if I can make some call outs to you guys when we do our Monday show. All right. Starfield. Are we going to see gameplay?
Yes.
You want to do it in order?
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Just
Yes. We'll see Starfield.
all right. 4 yeses.
They were ready to show it to us, to sell it to us. So yes.
Okay.
God, I hope so.
And sorry if you hear my keyboard briefly during this. Obviously, I've got to multitask. Redfall gameplay.
No.
Yes.
No.
Ooh. Okay.
Split the room? Is that a 2-2? You got to tell us yours, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking. I didn't think about them ahead of time. Shit.
Okay.
I'm going to go with no.
No.
Is that
I'll take
splitting
it.
the room?
Let's go.
Yeah. No, that's good. If you're right, Hogue, that's a big W.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I get more
If you're
points?
wrong, then we all go, silly Hogue. What an industry outsider. That
Yeah,
radicalized YouTuber.
Naked HD is trying to get in on it too.
I'm radicalized. I don't know what to tell you.
Will Final Fantasy VII Remake show up on the Xbox stage?
Yes. The window's over.
Yes.
I'm going to go with yes.
3. I'm going to say no just to hopefully get a point. We'll see.
That's fair. I almost went no, but I actually do think that one will show up.
Okay. Diablo 4.
No.
At the Xbox showcase, no. I
Yes.
think maybe it'll be at the other one, the game.
I think it
festival?
shows up, but I don't think we see much. That's my guess.
Okay.
Yes, it shows up.
I say yes
No.
as well. Another room split. This is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's okay.
All right. This is an important one. The
Yeah, I know he's going to
important
say yes on this one.
the
Yeah.
most important one all day. So think carefully because this could have consequences for the show's long-term success. Does Banjo-Kazooie finally show up?
No.
No.
The real
Oh.
question is, does anybody
Rare
care?
has actually
So
commented
no.
on this, and granted, you could not take them at their word. They could be lying. Studios do that sometimes to
I
surprise
don't
you, but
care
they,
what Rare said at all. All
yeah,
right.
they don't have any plans to use it aside from letting you put Banjo on the front of your ship and Sea of Thieves.
Well, I was gonna say Banjo was clearly going to be one of the star characters in Everwild. So I mean, they're reworking that concept. It was a Banjo vehicle. I think that was self-evident from the trailers we saw.
Right,
So
yeah.
I mean, I think they're working on that. I'm going to go with
Yeah.
no.
If you look in the
Okay.
background of Everwild, you can see the Jiggies.
Yep.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. Dan, what'd you say?
No.
I'm saying yes. I'm 3 years running.
Hey,
I'm saying
keep
yes.
the faith, man.
Yeah, hey, he likes punishment. He likes that. He likes to lose that point every year.
I lose often enough. It's no big deal. Are we going to see Compulsion's new game finally?
No.
Yes.
I honestly have nothing to. I don't know how long it's been in process. I'll go with yes.
5 years.
5 years.
God, you better.
Say yes. I say yes.
I'm gonna go no on this one.
Funny
So
thing.
you're the only no.
It's,
I know.
It's actually a Banjo game.
Fine.
Again, that was good.
Yes and yes.
Hellblade 2.
Yes, they love that one.
They do.
Yeah,
They love to
I
show us
think
that.
they're good. I think they've shown enough of it. At this point, I mean, they're fine. No.
We didn't get a release date yet, right? So I think this will be the reveal with the release date.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go no.
I think Hellblade's the biggest guarantee you've asked us about so far.
Yep, for sure.
And of
Dan's
course-
going to stand out. I'll say yes. Dan will stand out. Okay, we're going a little more out there now. Fallout. Will Fallout
No.
show
Absolutely
up?
not.
No,
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to say yes.
now they won't run into
Really?
it. Well, okay, so does Fallout 76 DLC count?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking general Fallout here as an
Because I think
IP.
Fallout 76,
Yeah.
Bethesda has never skipped a show where they don't throw some random. Now the robots sing. So I mean that will be at the show. Does that count? Because
Okay,
that determines my answer.
Let's
A
say
new Fallout 5.
No. Hold on.
No?
Slow down. A Fallout 76 expansion doesn't count. No.
Then no.
What about a Fallout 3 remaster?
Yeah, a
Well,
remake would
yeah,
count.
that's what he's saying. He's saying
Okay.
remasters count. I think he's saying New Vegas counts because some people are like, "Oh, New Vegas is gonna."
76
which
stuff doesn't count.
It's
is
not.
What I heard.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with no.
Anything
I'm gonna-
76 related.
Then hold on. I'm going to say yes, only to will it into existence.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Say yes.
The wishing bet. All right.
Well, you
That is
guys are. Yeah, that's a foolhardy guess on that one.
That's-
Sorry.
Yeah, the
all right.
chat's basically universally no on that one. That's fine. Okay. Another rumor and long kind of want from the Xbox community: will Persona finally make its way to Xbox?
No.
Why
Nope.
would it? I'm confused.
It's been long rumored that you know how they slowly brought over the Final Fantasies, then they got all the Yakuzas. It's been long rumored that they've been working with Atlas to finally get Persona on Xbox.
Has Atlas ever had a relationship with Microsoft and Xbox?
They
More
have
or less.
had
No, they
games,
had
but-
Danganronpa came. A couple of those games, but they,
Danganronpa's on the Game Pass right now, isn't it?
both.
Well-
of them, Danganronpa 1 and 2. Yeah.
No. It's a
I don't
poor
think so.
fit.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go with no. I mean, Atlas could do whatever they want, but I think they're gonna find that fit wanting long term if they do.
Atlas does not like to put games on Xbox.
Okay.
Period.
Where'd you say, Dan?
No.
Okay. I've gotten burnt on this one. My gut feeling is yes, but I'm gonna go gut. I'm gonna say yes. Screw it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Ains always goes with his gut. He's like, no, but you know what? Gut. He trusts his
This is
gut.
why my life is
Honestly,
hard at times.
be a dreamer. Say yes on them
For
all.
sure.
Do we actually get a Gears collection as rumored?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, but only because I think Microsoft's terrible at keeping things secret.
Yeah.
There's a rule in the games industry, and that I've heard at IGN many times, which is rumors are never true unless they come from Microsoft.
I'm trying to think of if it's at the show, how much I would resent the time wasted on it rather than showing me
Yes.
something else. So I'm gonna go with yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
This
with you
is-
there, Hogue.
this
Unless it's just a splash screen that says Gears Collection and nothing
Yeah.
else. Yeah, I'm gonna be annoyed by it, but yeah, I think it'll be there.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
say
have
yes.
to throw in some resentment in these shows, so I'll give that a yes.
Gears is great, but
Well,
I don't have a problem with Gears.
for me, it's again as usual, right? Depends on what. If we're talking about like an up-res Gear 2 and Gear 3, no. If you're talking about an actual like MCC collection where Gears 2 was completely remade, now you're set.
Like, do you think the Gears 1 remake was an improvement? Like
Oh, it's a huge improvement.
okay, all
Yeah,
right.
if go
Agree
play
to disagree, I guess.
no, if you play Gears 1 on 360
Gears
and then
1?
play Gears 1 on Series X, it's night and day.
But
Oh,
the
yeah,
tone,
and
the tone
actually-
is completely lost. I don't think the Gears 1 remake captured what Gears was at the time that Gears came out. Like, I have this problem with
Whoa.
remakes.
whoa. Yeah, because I actually recently replayed through all the Gears because my girlfriend had never played them, and after playing the remaster of 1, we went to play the 360 version on 2, and she was
2?
like, "Dude, this
Sure.
is terrible." She was like,
Well, I get
I'm
that.
getting like sickness, like it's not good because
But the
you know,
Gears 1
camera's super
remaster had
shitty.
the same problem I had with like the Batman remasters. I just don't think they captured what the first games, like the original games, were. The Return to Arkham's.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't replay those games when they came out. I
Okay.
bought that remaster, but I never played it. Yeah.
You just have. I envision you just having a bunch of sealed boxes somewhere.
I don't buy boxes,
Okay.
but they're digital a digital
bunch of
library
uncracked digital
unopened apps. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah.
All right. This is one of the biggest rumors right now. Will we see anything? And it can just be a teaser, of course. Indiana Jones.
Yes,
Like, yeah, I mean, I think we'll get a second bullwhip panning shot.
more or less. Yeah.
No, because that's exactly what it'll be, I think.
But they'll
Oh
do
no,
it.
I mean if we see it at all,
Yeah.
it counts. So
I think.
No. I
I
mean,
do-
no. There'll be
I
no
think we'll get this time. It'll be a hat and a map. That's
right.
that's my bet.
Sweet.
And maybe we'll get to see the character model. He'll like put it on the hat and walk into a cave. You know,
They'll drag Harrison Ford out to introduce it, like they did at Star Wars Celebration for a completely non-affiliated property.
Well, it's
Um,
Lucas, but yeah.
I'm saying yes to this one. I think we do see it in some form. Do we see Avowed?
Yes. Yes.
I say yes on this one.
It's pretty much almost confirmed.
Yeah,
isn't
we've
it?
already seen Avowed, so yeah, I'm going to say yes as well.
Not confirm we're going to see it at the show. I mean, sure, we know the game exists.
I'm going to go
We
with no. I'm going to go with
Well,
no on
didn't-
Avowed.
Didn't the
Yeah,
dev
this
come
this
out
one's
and
really
say something about
50-50
it?
for me, but I'm going to go with yes because
I think
that they-
Avowed is like a TGS special or like a Gamescom. I think it's another few months.
I would agree with you normally, Hogue. The reason I'm going yes is because I know the SEO on this one. It is one of the most searched games, and I think
No
Xbox
kidding.
knows that too.
That's a bit of a
so
surprise. All right.
they're going to show this game even if they have nothing because they know that there's a lot of hype behind it.
You know more than I do on that score. I'm going to stick with my no, but I like that piece of info.
It's SEO optimized, as Travis likes to say.
God damn it. I've been kicking myself for that all day. I hope you know that. Like I literally that's one of my pet peeves. Actually, we were just talking about this in the chat,
Sure.
weren't
We were, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you forget your PIN number for your ATM machine, but I think we can all agree that SEO optimization is the best.
we? This and in my opinion, SEO optimization is the best. Yeah.
Classic. Wolfenstein.
Man.
No.
No.
Yeah, because they're busy. Oh, that's the Machine Gun Games is.
Well, Machine
They're
Gun Games
making
make
indie.
Yeah, indie, right? So that's what I was thinking is that they're busy with the other thing.
Yeah, no.
They're the Killing Nazi studio, but it's indie now.
That's right. Indie's doing the Nazi killing, but
Yes.
Okay, I'll actually agree with you guys and say no. So we're all 4-0 on this one. I think.
yeah,
You're right.
I would love that. Only Jewish protagonist, really only Jewish character in any video game, which it's huge.
Doom. Do we see any Doom?
Nope.
No,
No.
too soon.
Okay, I say no as well. I figured I'd ask. Last one I'm going to ask is Fable.
Yeah, teaser. For
Yeah, I think we see it.
That might be a drop the mic.
It's actually called the Fable Festival now.
Mm.
They show up and somebody comes on the radio, starts playing some top 40 music. Yeah.
I say no to.
I don't get this bit, Travis.
I say no to
Forza
Fable.
Horizon Playground Games.
All right, I get it.
It's the Fable
Thank
Festival.
you. Okay, cool. Appreciate you bringing me up to speed. I was like,
No,
Fire
I don't think so.
Festival? Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, so we got with that one split too. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Fable. Yeah, I mean, like, what's their one last thing? I think Fable teaser is like a one last thing.
Fable will probably be the end of show, just like the reveal trailer was.
Didn't they do that? Yeah. I mean, why would you do that twice in a row?
It was a
That's
logo.
what they do. They always do that. They show like a teaser one year, and then the next year it's like the game.
They show another teaser.
Well,
Yeah, that's what they did with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was the trailer, and then next year it headlined with gameplay, and they just do that.
All right. That was quite a few games. We'll see what happens there.
Although if they make it look like it's a Horizon ad, and then there's a Fable character that rolls up in like a Lambo, I think that could be a pretty cool teaser.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're also going to see Forza 8. I think.
Yeah.
I
think I won't give it. That's why I didn't put it on the list. Yeah. So we're definitely going to see Forza. Right. In Exile, Brian Fargo was teasing on Twitter the other day, the head of In Exile, that we're going to see their new project. They have, if I recall correctly, I think In Exile has 3 projects going, but he's teasing that we're going to see one of theirs that has been in dev for a while.
Bard's Tale again.
No.
I mean, kind of down.
We're never sick of making Bard's Tales.
They're pretty good, pretty decent games.
They're all right.
Yeah, there's a few other things that have been rumored, kind of projects that have been kind of behind the scenes for a while. So we'll see what happens.
Minecraft too, obviously.
Minecraftier.
Xbox Series F, just to make phone calls more difficult.
Well, the other kind of confirmation, right? I know Jez has spoken about this, a few others about the the plug-in kind of connection app, the Fire
Stick.
Basically, the Fire Stick we've been talking about. Dongle,
which
the old dongle, man. Yes, the dongle.
Yep, the old.
Which
dongle.
I talked about with Boomstick Gaming and
Probably.
Everybody was like, "Oh, this stick is going to change the landscape," and I was like, "No, it's not. Who is going to buy the stick? It's like who's that made for? What
is
buyer?
That Pure Cloud? It's got to be Pure Cloud if it's not processing anything directly.
Yeah, it's Pure Cloud. You plug it into like a TV, and I was just like, well. There's people who will play game xCloud on their phone or a tablet or a laptop or whatever. And then there's people who will buy a console because they don't know or want to deal with any of that cloud stuff. So who's the stick for? If those are the two schools, like what?
The traveler.
Yeah, it's for hotels, frequent travelers, and dogs whose owners have died. Those are the people.
It depends on the region, right? I think it has a play in other regions. Beast Mode just said in the chat, no, they're revising the idea, and I could see that too. I mean, there's once you remove the console, right, from the connectivity equation, there's so many different ways to connect where you don't need a dongle anyway. So it's kind of strange from a technology standpoint. We'll see. Anything else?
That's just a fantastic box. So, I mean, that's my travel solution right now anyway.
So good. Have you got that snap-on screen?
I don't.
Back?
I'm not that guy yet.
So worth it. You could play it. I was playing it in the airport when I went on this trip to do the wedding thing. Amazing. You could set it up on the tray in the airport or on the plane. Oh,
the S is a crazy good box. I'll say that.
Such a good. Yeah, it's so underrated.
If I still traveled for work, I would definitely have one. Yeah, no doubt. True story. Twice while traveling. When I travel for work, I always took my Xbox One X, and which would have been my Series X.
Did you have the games box? What's that called? The GAEMS that brand?
Yeah,
the little plastic boxes.
Yeah, folded out. It had a monitor and
with a screen built in the back. It's like a.
No. I would hook it up.
One of those?
I would hook it up in the hotel room once I got there. But I'd always carry it on my carry-on because I didn't want it thrown around right in my back. Twice I got pulled aside for bomb threat. Twice. Yeah.
Dude,
you look like it.
Yeah. I bring on a briefcase that has a screen built into it, and then it's got a Series S in it, and that thing going through it, I'm like, dude, I think it's a bomb, and I know it's in it, but like, it just you get to see the screen. I'm like, dude, that looks hella dangerous. Like, just.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to see that's not on this list. I want to see a Game Pass family subscription. Shove it out there. This is the stuff that I think is more important than all these games that aren't going to come out for 4 years. And then I would like to see a new. I really want to see Xbox start getting into the haptic, adjusted triggers, like a new controller, not an Elite, like taking their original controller and then making it into, or just adding what PlayStation has, because I've been playing a lot more on my PlayStation because I really actually enjoy those adaptive triggers. I really enjoy the haptic feedback. And if you're going to do it that way, and this is also to PlayStation, we need more games that you can blow into, because it's been seriously lacking since the introduction of the stupid DualSense, where you got to go like no other game has done it except for Astrobot. So I need more blowing simulators. Don't clip that, please. And then that's pretty much it. Like, aside from all the games, all these would be great to see. And we'll probably get like Horizon DLC, towards the Horizon. But I'd love to see Xbox get into that. They could probably pretty easily. I don't want to see Elite 3.0.
There was an Xbox Insider survey about 4 months ago that asked specifically about have you used the DualSense and haptic features and all
really?
this. Yeah, so
that would be awesome.
I mean, it goes without saying Xbox is obviously going to be thinking about that stuff and reviewing it, right? And whether or not we see it. So, I don't know coming anytime soon.
It's when we probably I know we both thought this when it originally came out. It was very, we thought it was going to be really gimmicky and the third party wouldn't use it. Everybody's using it. A lot of these games, even smaller devs are using it, and I really enjoy it myself. So I'd like to see that on Xbox as well.
See, I don't care for it at all.
So yeah, some people don't care for it. I love it.
Well, I won't say at all. That's not fair. I think if it's like Returnal is brilliant with its implementation. I mean, it's amazing, right? Because Returnal has guns that are too featured, and you half pull and full pull to do the full shot, which is amazing. Like, that kind of stuff is great. But when they're just like, this is like vibration, but just more, it's like, oh god, I turn vibration off every day. So the
triggers are where it's at, man.
Or like pulling a bow, those are kind of cool. Like
throw a mic on the damn thing. I mean, that makes it, that makes it a little bit more immersive. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
You're mentioning all the stuff I don't like about PlayStation's controller. Like,
all the stuff I love.
When the noises come out of my controller, I'm like, Jesus! Oh my God, why is that?
It does throw you off a little bit.
Ghostwire does that well, I think.
Ghostwire is pretty.
Ghostwire does, it does.
Yeah, there's certain use cases for it. It's just, I think some games, it's like, oh, now the bullets are coming out of my controller. It's distracting, or
it's the same with that and everything Nintendo does, and like, oh, we have to use the weird thing.
Yeah, there's always just like a weird.
Well.
Yeah, it can be used well, but sometimes it's like, I have the same problem with the Returnal. Really bothered me with the way it did triggers, where if you hold it down too hard, it does the alternate functionality.
Yeah,
I really hated that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ash says, imagine Sackboy screaming from the controller.
Exactly. Now I got to worry about that. This is a new thing to.
We're gonna buy you so many Sackboys.
Yeah, you're getting Sackboys for Hanukkah, that's for sure. One per day.
You're gonna need a Sackboy room so that the humans can come out of them.
That'd be great.
It's literally. I don't even. If you, I'm so glad you guys don't have my physical address. I don't know.
I get it.
With them. Oh, you could. I got leaked on ESA. There's people who send me mail. So.
Beast Mode put in the chat a bunch of the games that all the Xbox shows are talking about. I think the other one he mentioned was Grounded, so the whole kind of full-fledged Grounded release you can probably expect. He asked about Project Dragon. I know that's one people are talking about that we may see. So I don't know. I'm weird. I mentioned this week that like I love this speculation. I love getting excited for these shows. I am like a little kid with these shows. I don't know. As more time goes on, I'm really, really, really starting to despise leaks. Like, despise them.
Yeah, me too.
They ruin kind of everything to do with the fun of these shows and kind of like beyond even like how it impacts the developers and their excitement for showing things and stuff. It's just, I don't know. I like having fun. There's a lot more leaks that have gone on for this Xbox show that I could have mentioned that, I'm aware of. And I thought it'd be more fun for us to kind of have our fun, just yes, no.
Pretty leak free, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I've also muted the words Xbox and PlayStation and leaks, on Twitter. So I don't see really
Dan
anything.
has made himself unable to access that content, and Hogue has been streaming 19 hours a day, so they probably missed it. But
Hogue streams
anything. which is great.
There have been a lot of leaks, and here's the thing: it happens every year, especially to Microsoft. Like I was saying, Microsoft cannot keep a secret for the life of them, and it always does take steam of the show. I've been in line to go into the Microsoft press conference at E3, and then had their entire show leak while I was in line, and then everybody's just around you. Everyone's just around you talking about all the stuff you're about to go see, and I'm like, God, that sucks. Such a bad feeling. Just takes the wind out of your sails. But
Yeah. Beast asked about Playdead. So Playdead is what's their new game called? I know there's Somerville, which is the new studio that the ex co-founder of Playdead is coming. God, I forget the name of Playdead's new game now. Tired. Anyway, yeah, that could show up as well. Phil says just don't read the leaks. Yeah, I mean, obviously you can block everything and stuff, but I also run an outlet. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I can't.
Ains and I have to read their leaks.
I have to pay attention to kind of everything going on to be knowledgeable for the. It's a hard line to walk when you get to that kind of point. By the way, we got a super chat a while ago, which I didn't get to, from Blackleaf, a simple one that just says,
"Hogus Pogue,
Hogus Pog,
Hogue, Hogus Pogue." That's officially the way I'm pronouncing that now.
Hogus Pogue. I don't understand.
Hog. It's
Hog.
Terminology,
like an acronym for something?
Play of the game. The best is what he means.
Piece of garbage.
It's good. It's
messed up, man.
No, it
means good. It means he's dope. He's a goat.
Oh, okay. I'll have to talk to my kids about that one.
Did I tell you when someone came on my show?
The poggers.
And said that my outfit was drip? And I was like, what?
No, your outfit drips.
No. Well, no, you're right. You're right. It was, you've got a lot of drip today, Hogue. It was the actual
There you
sentence.
go. A lot of drip. So that works. Yeah.
Okay, Travis.
Thanks, I would say Hogue has a license to drip is the way I would put it.
All right. Well, I got to get you on the channel more, because I was literally like,
yeah.
Okay.
I'll help you, man. I'll help you.
Right.
I'm
Blackleaf, appreciate it. All right, boys. Any final thoughts on these shows before we wrap it up here?
Nope.
Good to go. All right. So again, reminder for everyone, we will be back not next Sunday at normal time. Please join us Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. For our follow-up show, we'll be talking Summer Game Fest. We'll be talking Xbox and Bethesda. We'll be talking kind of everything that happened that weekend. We're going to have some giveaways on the show. We're discussing possibly broadcasting this elsewhere as well. So we'll see how that turns out. But it should be a lot of fun. Hope you all can join us. Hope you all have a great week with the shows. Enjoy them. I hope you see everything you want to see. Of course, Banjo-Kazooie better damn well be there. We all know that. So that'll about do us, I think, for this week. Obviously, the focus for this week will be all the game shows on the Season Gaming channel. If you didn't check out our For the Record on audio formats yet, please do. If you didn't check out our latest cast co-op, please do. It was the first live cast co-op we've done, which was kind of hilarious, but it was a lot of fun. I want to give a special shout out to our live audience. Chat, you've been amazing today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. A lot of new faces here. Great to see you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you can join us every Sunday, because we have fun like this every Sunday and just have a good time chatting games. So if you enjoy video games, definitely come hang out with us, share it with a friend, and we greatly appreciate that. So thank you very much. All right, let's get on out of here. Travis, bring us around, man.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of content this week. I did a couple previews. I previewed Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. Was one of my previous ones this week. Again. Out probing, still probing. Actually, that game has kind of a special place in my heart, because its first location is like a satire of San Francisco, and it's got like hippies running around, and it's really stupid. So it's kind of fun. I did that, and then I've got the Mario Strikers review going live this week. And you can watch me talk about Destiny every Thursday. Follow me on Twitter at TyGuyTravis, and follow my new YouTube channel, Naked HD, which I highly recommend. Hopping into those videos and just start commenting about how they should be watching Bitcast after they're done doing whatever they're doing on that channel. So Yeah, that's me, man. How about you? How about you, Hogue? What do you got going on?
The views of Tie Guy Travis do not reflect the views of either the Season Gaming Bitcast or the other participants therein. No, as they said, I'm streaming forever now. We have successfully launched a new show, Hangouts and Headlines, which I'm planning on doing every weekday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern, where we talk about a headline of the day. We otherwise chat with each other and have a good time. And that's been very, very popular so far. So if you're interested in that, please jump on in. And if it's the middle of the night for you, it will always be archived. And I apologize in advance for the timeline, but it works for my work day. It works for some work commutes. And so that's why we do it there. Otherwise, we've got Virtual Legality propers that are also being done on the same day that we do Hangouts and Headlines. And you can reach me on Twitter at Hoglaw. So I am in a lot of places a lot of the time now, if you're at all interested in my takes on things.
Yes, you are, sir. Very busy. And by the way, Travis says naked, but still wearing a tie.
Well, that goes without saying.
It's true that my birthday suit is a 3-piece.
Gross. That's disgusting.
I love this.
Also, if you have a tie on, you're not naked.
The delivery works very well.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Where is the tie, though? That's really the question.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And we'll close out on our last statement.
Hey, everybody.
Where is the tie? Thank you, as always, for joining Bitcast, your weekly gaming show where we talk about all things, apparently, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC with legal, technical, and industry insight. And we will see you next Monday. Until then, take care.